my name is Woody. This is Change in the House of Pods, a podcast about Deftones. Today, my guest is Russell Campbell from Waco, Texas. Russ is an artist. In fact, he's a part of a collective there in Texas. They call themselves the Goon Squad, which is pretty badass. He's had some singular experiences as a Deftones fan. For instance, he sent Chino and Risa a wedding gift. I mean, without spoiling too much, it's an awesome story. You're going to love it. You're also going to hear about his trip to Woodstock for the Team Sleep Sessions. And like I've said before, every time I hear about the Woodstock Sessions, it's like I'm transported there. Truly, try to put yourself there with Russ because it's so cool and it's never going to happen again. And above all else, this is another great example of how Deftones fans are just inherently cool and good people. And I think that's why I love talking with other Deftones fans about as much as I love talking about Deftones. It's so rad. This is my conversation with Russell Campbell.
Let's just do some quick hitters real quick.
Sure.
What is your favorite Deftones album? Do you have a favorite?
Man, and it's been, since it came out, it's been Koi.
Really?
I love that record so much. Like, I mean, everybody always says around the fur, like hardcore fans. I mean, I love every record, but like Koi for me was more of a complete album in a way. Like I loved Diamond Eyes because it was that new rebirth, that energy. Because like, I mean, we were kind of touch and go there for a minute with them after like 2006, 2007, after Saturday Night Wrist. And I was like, man, are they going to keep going or what's the deal? And like Diamond Eyes was great. And it was that energy, but like Koi for me, like I could just drive and listen to that record for hours, you know? And I love that record. Rosemary's probably still my favorite song, you know?
Favorite song off the album or favorite song, period?
I think favorite song, period, right now. I mean, I love all the new stuff too. I love Spell of Mathematics. I love Ceremony. But man, Rosemary just hits me in a different way. It always has. I mean, I named my car Rosemary, you know, stupid shit like that. But when I heard that song, I saw them. I think it was in 2018 or 2016. They played a festival and they opened with Rosemary.
Wow.
And Chino comes out and like the whole stage is dark and he has that light behind him and you just see his silhouette. He's got a hoodie on. He's playing the thing. And when they hit that first note, like, I mean, I was just like, holy shit. I wanted them to open up with Rosemary for the longest time. And I knew he was going to do it eventually. But I was like, man, it was so cool, dude.
Crazy. That's cool. I can't imagine that. Like, it's really hard to imagine that opening. That's really sick. Do you remember what festival that was?
It was called Botanica Festival. I think it was in, I got my notes over here. I got like, every show I've been to. I think it was in 2018. It was in San Antonio. It was at a theme park and like Logic was there and Machine Gun Kelly was there. It was an all day thing and they headlined the main stage in this little park like area. Like we had been there all day and you know, of course got on the rail. There's a bunch of like Shaq was there. Do you know Shaq's a DJ? I didn't even know he was a fucking DJ.
Yeah,
like,
DJ Diesel.
Yeah, dude, he comes out and he's like, give it up for Shaq. Like he was like in the third person the whole time. It was very strange, but we had to sit through all of that, and then it like rained when it started getting dark, and I was like, I'm gonna see a show and pissing down rain. Another bucket list thing I wanted to do. But yeah, dude, and it just stopped just in time for them to come on, and I mean, they kept the whole stage dark until the first kick in of you know, Rosemary and the drums when Abe's, you know, like. Wow. And I was just, I mean, dude, like I felt my soul leaving my body, bro. It was insane. It was called Botanica Festival, and I think it was in 2018.
Do you know if it's on YouTube?
Yeah, actually, on my YouTube, I think I have Rosemary. I think I have the opening. Yeah, sick. I have a whole show, dude. I have a whole show on my YouTube channel that was in Louisiana. I filmed the whole thing from the rail. It was when they were on that tour with Incubus and I forgot who else. But it was right in front of the Superdome in this little square area. But I got that whole thing on video, and then I've got a bunch of stuff like there's some rare cuts I've got on there, like where Chino's down in front of us on the rail and he puts a kid up on his shoulders, and I think they're singing. I think it was either Labia or it might have been Die of the Flu. I'm not sure.
No way, he's saying it with the kid on his shoulders?
Yeah, and yeah, I've got a bunch of. I like to get rare songs on there because you know nobody wants to see Change for the 9,000th time. You know, it's filmed from your cell phone. you know, but
Shaky ass stuff.
I've got some great shit from the rail, like MX, and like I got Rubicon, and
Oh, I've watched your Rubicon. What's your YouTube page? What's the name of the channel?
it's a Rust Tone, I think.
Rust
I think
Tone?
it's just Rust Tone.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
All
what
right.
I name all my stuff. So that's what Chino knows me as. He just calls me Russ. I mean, like that's like a big thing for me too. Like when you're on a first name basis with them, they're like, Russ, holy shit, you know.
I've
But
thought about that when I was thinking about because I saw one of the clips. I think it was the video from Austin, maybe, where he's like, "What up, Russ?" Yeah, and I was like, "Dude, that's fucking."
Dude, that
like,
was
that's just so like when your favorite band knows you
Bro.
by like on site, bro. That's killer. That's
Dude,
really shit.
I'm up to 71 shows now,
shit.
just with them. So, you know, I put in my dues or whatever, but I've been very respectful. I don't invade their space. You know, I'm cool with them, and I'm more cool with Chino out of all of them. You know, I mean, he's always been like, he always gets really excited when he sees me. He's just like, I see you. You know, I've seen him in multiple states, and he's just like, what the hell are you doing here? And I'm just like, man, you know what I'm doing here, bro? Showing love, bro, showing support. You know, I saw him in Oklahoma City one time. He was riding around on his bike before the show. He was going to some breweries or something, and he was like, he was coming like, he was probably 1,000 yards away from me, and I just stood in the middle of this parking lot, and I was like, you know, I just stood there and like froze, and he came right up to me, and he's like, man, I thought that was you, man. What are you doing in Oklahoma? You don't live here. And I'm just like, no, I do not, but I did just drive 6 hours to come see you. And he's just like, oh, bro. And it's all love, dude. It's all love, man. Those guys are so cool. They're so cool, man. And then like getting a shout out from him at ACL Fest was, I mean, I don't know how many people were there.
A lot. It was a lot.
Yeah, the dude, that show actually, it was bad for them because I don't know if you saw the live stream or whatever, but like their sound fucked up. Like first 3 or 4 songs, like it was just this real bad static and reverb, and that was one of the first times I've ever seen them all walk off the stage and be like, "Fuck this."
Oh,
because like they're like, he was cool about it. He's like, "Hey, we'll be right back," and like they all just walk, and I was like, "What the fuck's going on?" Me and my friend Jenna we were next to each other, and I was like, something's going on, like their sound's jacked up. And they didn't have at that festival, they weren't currently like on tour, you know, they had just done that festival. So they didn't have their regular sound guys. They didn't have, like, Steph didn't have his regular guitar tech, and it was some dude, and I was like, that dude's over there fucking up the guitars. You know, I was yelling at him. I was like, it's that guy, it's him. And I was pissed, bro. But then they got it together, and they came out, and they just killed it for the last set. And then he ran around, and he was doing How Could I Just Kill a Man during Engine, and he came like right up to me and shoved Mike in my face. But then during Knife Party before that, like he came down, and he noticed me because I was wearing this blue Dodgers hat, and it was actually a Texas Rangers hat.
Was it?
But I had it on backwards, you know. And he was like, "You supporting the?" That's what he says to me. He says, "What's up, Russ? You sporting the Dodgers right now?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Yeah, me too." And then he, like, you know, we gave each other dap or whatever, but he didn't know it was a Rangers hat. But you know, it was a blue hat. That's all.
It was a blue hat.
Which I sport the Dodgers too. You know, I don't play favorites, but I was like, I looked at my friend. I was like, "Did that just fucking happen?" And she's like, "I got all that on video." And I was like, "Oh, thank God." I was like, that was badass. That was badass.
I mean, in a sea of people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like in a sea of people. And he's like,
and it's crazy, man. He started really noticing me after the Woodstock stuff, because when Palms did their tour in 2014, they did like 7 shows in Texas. Like they literally just flew here, and Palms did their tour, and they did 4 or 5 like club shows, and then they played a show in Dallas at this thing called Index Fest. And it was outside. It was like, you know, in a big like field or whatever. And I hung out with him, and I think it was Aaron, and forgot what the other dude. What's the drummer's name? Can't remember. The dude from ISIS. But they were just hanging out, and like we went around. We got food with them. We hung out, and Chino was like telling me about the Team Sleep thing, and he was like, "You coming to New York, Russ?" And I'm like, "You know it?" And I was just like, "I don't fucking know how I'm gonna get there, but yeah, I'm coming." Because we talked for probably 2 hours just talking about, like, that was right when they had just dropped the White Pony merch, the new merch that they got. Like, it was all the blackout stuff or whatever. You remember White Pony? Like, it had the dates all down the hoodie, and then it had like a blackout pony. It wasn't the anniversary stuff, but it was when they had just they started going with the dudes from Glassjaw who do their merch. like merch director, whatever.
Okay.
And I was telling him about that. I was like, bro, I said, that merch is legit. And he's like, yeah, we had to step our game up, man. He goes, it's, it's about time we had some good quality stuff. Cause some through the years, some of the concert merch hasn't been the best, you know what I mean? So,
sure.
But hanging out with him at Palms, and then I was at every show at Palms, and he was just like, he's like, what are you doing, man? I was like, driving all over the state. It's what I do. And those shows, bro, because I didn't get to see Crosses for when they first went out because of I was going through a divorce and stuff like that, and it just didn't work out. But that was kind of like me seeing him in more intimate venue. You know, I mean, we were right there. He was playing really small places, and like,
were people there? Was there anybody at those shows?
It was sold out. It was sold out. I mean, but they're only playing 500 little bars and stuff.
Yeah,
all around.
Not even clubs. They're playing bars.
Dude. I mean, it was so cool because I mean, I could like literally go like this and touch his foot, and I saw the set list. I mean, I was literally on the stage with him. But I mean, I got so much good video of that too. But I had a shitty phone back then, so it looked all grainy, and crappy. I think I had an iPhone 4. I can't even remember, but those shows were great. But then I was like, well, now I got to figure out a way to get to New York, and so I was like, fuck it. Got the tickets, and they were not cheap. They were like $500 a piece.
Yeah.
But dude, that experience in itself was awesome.
You're wearing the sweatshirt right now.
I am wearing the sweatshirt. Yes, it is. It's one of the merch packets we got, and then they had a poster that they all signed. We got all the demos on CD. Like Todd was putting them in a CD sleeve as we're walking in. He goes, "Here you go, man," and it's just a blank CD, and I was like, "You're not gonna put the song titles? I don't know what the fuck these songs are called." And when I got home finally and put it in my laptop, I mean, they had a few of them that were labeled. Like one they had was Let's Go, and then they had the Kool-Aid Party with Mike Patton. I think they had that labeled on there, but then everything else was like number 4, number 5, number 6. And I was like, oh, what are these called? I think one of them was called Bossa Nova. But they weren't like actually labeled on the CD on the data, and I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to make these up. I had reached out to Todd, and he like never, I was trying to like listen to what Chino was singing about or whoever was singing. And I'm sure they're all on YouTube, but I have no idea what the hell they're called. So,
dude, that's crazy. So you literally got handed music that like unreleased Team Sleep joints that, and this was before they recorded the Woodstock sessions. Like they did that whole thing.
So we got there early as shit. Cause we got there like at 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's at this, I mean, you literally go down this gravel road, and there's a barn. There's a big ass barn, and there's some cars and stuff, but it doesn't look like a studio. It just looks like there's a barn out in the middle of the woods. There's some horses over here in a corral. There's, like, it's just, I mean, there's woods everywhere. It looked creepy as fuck, but like, I'm like, is this it? Is this the place? And it says Applehead Studios. Well, we got there, and all these people were like around this like horse. This big ass horse had died the day of the show, so they had to like figure out how to get it out of there because it was literally right next to the barn in the corral. So they have this dead horse, which happened to be white, just saying, a little weird. And they got it out of there, and they're like, hey, can you guys come back later? And we're like, no, we're here for the thing. And they go, that's not till tonight. And I was like, all right, dude, shit. So we come back later that night, and then they had this big tent set up, and so they had food, which was cooked by like area farmers and stuff, it was all right. It was like, I don't remember it being extravagant or amazing.
Everybody brought I'm not here for the food anyways.
Yeah, everybody brought BYOB, but like we're under this tent, and I don't see anybody. I don't see any of the guys, but I hear them checking mics. I hear music in the background. I'm like, can we fucking go in now? Like, I paid $500. I want to see this shit. So they come out and they go, here's the rules. You can't take any video. You can't take any pictures. If you take any pictures, we're going to kick you out. If you take any video, we're going to kick you out. Be respectful of the band. They're recording an album, literally recording an album. We're going to let you watch that process. You won't go in the recording booth. Like, they had all this shit, and we're like, well, what the fuck are we doing here then? Like, I mean, is there a place, like, are we behind glass? Like, what's the deal? And they literally have all their shit set up like just like how you would think in a studio. Mics everywhere, a carpet, all this stuff. Chino's got his little chair and his little chai tea thing over here. He's got his guitar set up or whatever, and I don't see him. And then I see Todd, and they were all in the back doing something or whatever. And then he comes out and he goes, "Oh shit, what's up?" And like, he says what's hi to everybody. There was probably 30 people there that had paid for this experience, so it was very intimate. Hardcore fans, obviously, who knew about Team Sleep.
Yeah.
And a couple of girls freaked out, a couple of my friends, and he was just like, "Hey girl, hey," and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna go do my shit." So they just start jamming, man. And they'll stop and like Chuck Doom was there. Chuck was cool as fuck, man. Chuck was talking to us, he was telling us what he was doing. He's like, "I'm laying down this track over this track for this song." And he would tell us like in the mic, like, "Hey, I'm doing this." I mean, that dude's got, 15 basses. He was a beast. But then off to where the studio was on the side, we could walk through there too and watch all the guys on the controls, like, "Okay, hey, Chino, play that, do that again." I mean, we were watching them like physically record an album. And I was just like, man, this is crazy. So that went on for like 3 or 4 hours.
Wow.
And I mean, they were just like, be in the space, don't talk, just enjoy the moment, whatever. And Chino wasn't really doing vocals at that point. He was humming some stuff and just laying down his guitar parts. They got the headphones on. And then they're like, "Okay, everybody, can you exit the studio?" Well, they moved all the shit out of the studio room and just pushed it back. So they're like, they're gonna do a live show for y'all now, which was on the ticket. I think it was like you're gonna have a live show or whatever. But like, we were like, oh shit. So they like moved they put all these chairs in, and we're like sitting down in a studio that's got all these mics. They're like, "We want y'all to cheer, but we don't want y'all to say like, I fucking like this," like, because it's gonna be on the record. They don't want that shit on there. So dude, we all go out and like we're all back under the tent, and then Chino comes out and like all the guys, they're taking pictures with everybody. There was a professional photographer there that took a big photo of everybody before the sun went down and everything. And I got to talk to him for another 20-30 minutes, just me and him one-on-one. And people were like really hesitant to approach him. And I was trying to be respectful too, because I didn't want to hog up all the time or whatever, but I was just talking to him about other things, and just like, his life. I didn't really when I talk to Chino, I don't really talk to him about like, "Oh, this is my favorite song." Like, he don't care about that shit. He don't even know that shit. I talk to him about his his animals and all that kind of stuff, and his farm and everything. And, just try to be respectful of the space, because that's time, bro. Like, that's the most valuable thing to me from this band, is like that they'll stop and give you the time. At least it's been my experience. Like Steph will. I haven't had much interaction with Frank. I say what's up to Frank. Love Abe. I've talked to Sergio a whole lot. When he was around and stuff. And of course, Chi. I've had some cool interactions with Chi. We'll get to that. But Chino's been very, very cool. And like, I've always just tried to be respectful and not like, fangirl out too much, even though I'm like dying inside going, this is the best thing ever. So we go in and watch the show, and dude, it sounds just like it sounds on the album. I have the record of those girls. So hold on. You know how much this thing's going for, dude, right now?
It's like a few hundred right now, isn't it?
Oh, dude, it's crazy. But like, yeah, that's so cool. That's like one of my prized possessions right there. But
oh man, I bet.
Like, I don't even know if you can get it now. Like, I mean, it's crazy. I can't, like, I just now saw that the date was on here. I can't believe that was 2014. I can't believe that was almost 10 years ago. That's crazy.
It is crazy.
So after the show, they were like, "Hey, we're going to hang out, and, we'll come out, we'll talk." So they came back out, and we're hanging out, and Chino looks at me and he goes, "Man, I want to build a bonfire. You want to build a bonfire, Russ?" And I'm like, "No, of course not, man. No, I don't want to do none of that shit." I'm like, "Yeah, bro, let's go get some wood." So like, they had already kind of had some wood, like over off like under, like away from the tent, obviously. And literally, dude, we all stood around, everybody who was there, we all got our hoodies on, looking like a bunch of, just because it was cold as shit. Like, it got cold and it was rainy and nasty. We built this bonfire, dude, and we sat around for probably an hour and told our favorite Deftones stories. And it was the coolest kumbaya shit I've ever done. You know what I mean? I mean, Chino was he was a little faded at that point, and he was like, man, I got to do vocals, man. I got to go in there and do my vocals, blah, blah, blah. And we were like, no, this one time. And it's like, we just went around all the people, and they were like telling their favorite experience with him or Deftones, or like how it changed their life. And dude, he's cheesing so big, and just, he's smiling ear to ear. He's just, and like, Crook and all them were like, oh man, I remember that when you did that shit. I remember when you jumped off stage and lost your fucking shoe. Like, you always lose your fucking shoes and blah, blah, blah. And like, all the other guys were around. And their tour manager from England, Emma Van Dizzle, I don't know if you follow her or not. That was the first time I'd met her, and we had been talking on Instagram for a long time. And she is just a delight, just a lovely, a wonderful human being. She does a lot of their tour managing stuff when they go overseas and stuff. So she's the Juan whenever the Juan's around still, but like she's the promoter, but she's amazing. And she organized that whole thing.
Oh, word.
The whole Woodstock thing. And she was just like, I'm so glad I finally got to meet you, and you're so wonderful, and you love this band. I know I've been following you, and I know how much you love them, and respect and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, oh yeah, absolutely. And then they were like, okay, everybody, that's it. It's time to go. And we were all like, yeah, right. So we go over by our van. We go over by our van, and like we parked way on the side of the studio where the barn was, like in the mud, and we were acting like our van was stuck. And like the guys who were running it, who were just like, who owned the studio, they weren't like security. Right. They were like, okay, finally everybody's gone or whatever. So we go around the corner, and it's the back of the studio, and Chino's in there in a sound booth recording his vocals. There's the live tracks that they recorded, but he was recording vocals for apparently new Team Sleep shit that I don't know if he'll ever see the light of day. But like, me and my friend Alexis, she was like holding on to me, and she's like, I want to see him. And I'm just like, all right. I was like, come over here. I said, just stay here, trying not to freak out. And we sat there and watched him for like 10 minutes, like creepers. And he was just, he had his headphones on, and he was doing his thing, and let out some crazy screams. I'm talking like, not screams from like Diamond Eyes or Around the Fur or anything like that, but like more Team Sleepy, just like, I don't know how he gets his octaves up that high, but he was doing some Mariah Carey shit, bro. It was like, whoa. And I was like, I wanted to pull my phone out, but I just didn't, but
yeah, a
few people got their phones out, and a few people recorded some stuff, and a couple of my buddies took some pictures and stuff. But dude, that experience was a crazy weekend. I think I slept maybe 2 hours that whole weekend. We went to New York. I saw Times Square for about 3 seconds, and then
fuck Times Square.
Some homeless dude tried to like sit on top of me when we were on the subway, and had like a colostomy bag like hanging out, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, well, we're in New York,
Welcome to New York.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, but it was great because I was there with my friends. And we just had a crazy experience, man.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's insane. That's like so many things about that insane. Like just how casual and like getting to be a fly on the wall, hearing the songs that or hearing them record stuff, getting the songs that hadn't come out, like all of that, everything about it is just this is why I hate you. No, I'm just kidding.
I really wanted they were taking they were taking requests, like Crook was like getting his records and stuff and his DJ shit, like the sound whatever. He goes, any requests? I was like, play Past Portal. And he looked at me and he was like, man, I don't even know how I made that shit. And I was just like, oh, because I love that track, bro. That instrumental off the Matrix soundtrack, I love that track. And he's like, I don't even know how the fuck I made that shit. And I was like, all right, never mind. No, he's so a cool cat too, man.
It's so funny think you talk about animals with Chino, and it's funny too because I always think like that your favorite album is Koi, because like with the first line being she breaks her horses, and I'm thinking about the whole song is like about him talking to horses, or about and I'm just like thinking to myself, like, it's really hard for me to imagine Chino on a farm, You know what I mean?
Oh
like,
yeah, dude.
Yeah,
they got all kinds of animals. His wife and I are close online and stuff, and Facebook, and she's her mom has horses and stuff, so his in-laws or whatever. So I assume that it's maybe his mother-in-law is like a horse whisperer or something, or maybe I don't know if it's like Arabian horses or what.
That's some cool ass shit. That's a
wild shit. When I see him and stuff, I'm like, man, how are the chickens? Because she's got a lot of chickens and they got dogs and all kinds of stuff. So. But they've recently moved, so I don't know. I'm pretty sure she's still got all of her animals. She posts about them a lot. So, but yeah, he's out there like feeding chickens in the morning, and they probably get like fresh eggs and all that kind of crap.
I wonder, did he know how to dispose of the dead white horse at the at Woodstock?
I asked him about it, and he was like, he didn't know about it. He was like, "Word," because I don't think they were there. I don't think they were there that early. But I was like, "Bro, there was a dead horse here earlier." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "When we got here, like at 10:00." Man, they were like trying to dig this horse out of the mud to get rid of it. It was like right over there. And he's like, "Word?" And I was like, "Yeah, you didn't see it?" He's like, "Oh." And I was like, "Well, never mind."
Wild ass shit. That is so wild.
I was like, "It was a white horse too." And he's like, "Shut up." And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, I wanted to like, because I do Deftones puns all the time. I wanted to be like, "Yeah, it was a Hesperian death horse," and he would have been like,
just leave. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, I've been like, oh man. So,
dude, tell me, when did you do you remember when you first heard about Deftones? Do you remember when you became a Deftones fan?
Oh man, it was 96 because I was in it was 96 because I was in sophomore year in high school. A friend of mine had left his CDs in my truck. And I was big into Metallica and Pantera at that point. Like Metallica, Pantera was my first like 2 concerts ever to go to. And he left his CDs in there, and I just like grabbed Adrenaline, and I put it in, and I was like, I heard Bored, and I was like, I actually skipped over Bored. I was like, man, what is this? And I think I skipped to Minus Blindfold. Which one's second? Is it Birthmark that's the second track, or is it Minus? Whatever the second track was, I think it's Minus. But I was like, what the fuck is this? And he was doing that whispery shit and then the screaming, and I was just like, ooh, okay. So I listened to that whole thing. I got hooked on Root. And I was like, he's like, hey, you still got my CDs? And I was like, bro, I'm keeping this one. And he goes, oh, I don't listen to that shit anyway. And I was like, okay, who the fuck are these dudes? And he was just like, I don't know. This is my brother's CD. So I don't remember if I had high-speed. I know I didn't have high-speed internet at the time, but I got online and I was like, who are the Deftones? And I saw that they had played Warped Tour, and I was like, okay. But I had listened to them, and then Around the Fur came out. And I was hooked after that. Hearing Shove It for the first time, I think I actually saw the video to Shove It before I heard that record. Because wasn't that their first single? I'm trying to think like
it had to be.
Like because obviously they didn't play it on radio down here, and so I had no way of actually hearing it until I saw the video on MTV, and I was like, what is this crazy shit with the sharks? Oh my god, there's blood in the water. I was like, oh, I started growing my hair out, and I was like, I gotta find some gel to like spike my hair up because I want to look cool like that motherfucker. I did, bro. There's so many, dude. For about 15 years, I had so much product in my hair. I was a walking fire hazard. Because I wanted to have spikes like Chino, dude. And
you know what I used to use? I used to use Murray's hair wax. You remember?
That's because he said it.
Did he say Murray's?
I saw that in a magazine article. He's like, I use this pomade shit, and I was like, what the fuck is pomade? And I'm redheaded, so like my hair is very thick, and like pomade doesn't work. I was like slicking that shit back, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna get this. Whatever that spiker glue was from like Walmart or whatever in that yellow bottle, dude. And it was literally glue, Elmer's glue with water in it. Oh, and that's what kept my hair spiky, dude. And it's crazy.
Did you do the chin too? Did you do the chin with the chin?
Yeah. When I started growing facial hair, I had the pointy goatee, and it looked like pubes on my damn chin, bro. I had to shave it so many times so I could get whiskers, because it was just fuzz. It was peach fuzz for the longest time.
Right.
I finally got it to where it was thick, and I was just like, all right, that's cool. All right. So
that's super funny.
Hey, it's Woody for the Hair Restoration Institute of Minnesota. I turned 40 this year, and more than any other birthday, I felt like this year I deserved to really treat myself. And above all else, the one thing that I really wanted to do for me was fix my hair. I started losing my hair 20 years ago. It was awful. I loved my hair. Losing it was miserable. I hated the way it looked and having to hide under a hat for family photos. Then I went to the Hair Restoration Institute of Minnesota. They're the #1 hair transplant clinic in the Midwest with hundreds of 5-star reviews. And getting my hair restored was actually a relaxing experience. It was sort of like a day at the spa. There was no pain. It was really fast healing. I mean, I was back on the air in just a couple of days. Whatever your hair loss, whatever your goal, they have the surgical, non-surgical, and cosmetic options for you. Schedule your free consultation at hrimn.com. That's hrimn.com.
But yeah, I heard them in 96, and my very first show was Warped Tour 98, I think. I got it written down here. Yeah, 98, in August of 98. So Fur had already come out, because it came out on Halloween, didn't it? Or it came out on the 28th in 97, October 28th, I think. So I'm like, I got my buddy who had the CD. I said, hey, we're going to this Warped Tour thingy in Austin, and we're doing it. And he's like, fuck yeah. So we were late. And so we're walking in, and that's when you had to scan a ticket, get patted down, all the things. And I hear him on the stage because we had somehow found that they were going on at like 2:00 in the afternoon.
Imagine
and
that.
It was in August. It was 105 degrees that day. And I'm like, I hear him. He's on the stage right now. And they had closed. I think they closed with Head Up. And I could hear the Soul Fly, Fly Free. And I was just like, and I was like, oh shit, they just started. They had just finished. So we were running down to get down to the front. And he's like, peace, blah, throws the mic down. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? We just missed him. They had, some band had not done their time slot. So they went on early. And I was like, I was so pissed. I was like, and I didn't want to see any of those other punk bands there. I didn't give a shit about any of that. And I was like,
you're like, fuck a Goldfinger.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I didn't stick around for No Effects or whoever the hell was on that show. But
Bad Dave, Fat Mike, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, dude, I was so pissed because I look back on set list like a few months ago. They played Right Brigade. They played what's the other song they played? I can't remember. The other Bad Brain song that they do. Subliminal. They played Subliminal, and then they played Head Up. Or no, it was Suicidal Tendencies. They played Subliminal, and then they played Head Up, and I was like, oh. Dude, I wasn't crazy. A big nerd. I wasn't a big nerd back then because I didn't know who any of those bands were, like Bad Brains or none of that stuff. And so I was just like, oh, they played some new tracks. And I was like, no, those aren't new. That's old shit. So that was my first show, seeing them for about 28 seconds. And then they were done. And after that, it was that House of Fur tour in 98. And I mean, it just snowballed. I tried to go to every Texas show that I could. At that time, because I had just, gotten a truck and all that kind of stuff. So I couldn't go to every show because Texas is very spread out.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was mostly Dallas, Austin, Houston, San Antonio, occasionally Corpus Christi, but I would never go way out to El Paso or West Texas. I saw a few shows like back in the day, like in Lubbock and stuff, but like from where I live to Lubbock is still like 7 hours of drive. Oh, wow. And El Paso's damn near 12 hours. So like you can literally drive 12 hours in one direction and still be in Texas.
Are you is Waco nearest to Dallas then?
It's right in the middle. So it's like 100 miles from Dallas.
So you're literally next to nothing. Nothing is close.
So Waco's in the middle. Dallas is north 100 miles. Austin's south 100 miles. San Antonio's another 150 miles. So it's like
minimum 2 hours to go see a show.
Yeah. Yeah,
well, they never come to your town, right? They never come into Waco.
No, they're never going to play Waco. We don't have a venue here big enough for them. But I mean, they could play outside. I mean, it's all good. I've been talking to Risa because like her daughter's been looking at colleges and stuff. I was like, hey, we got a couple colleges here in Waco. She's like, oh yeah. I was just like, yeah, No, that may happen, dude. I'm going to manifest that, dude. It may happen one day, but
you got a stadium somewhere, and there's got to be.
Well, we've got college stadiums, but we have a very conservative Christian college here, and I don't think they would allow anybody screaming on their PAs other than their stupid football team. So, But yeah, man, it's been crazy. I've had some crazy shows and some not so good shows in that whole 71 show run, to where something happens or the sounds fucks up, or there was a couple of shows back in 2003 where I know that half the band was just fucked up, and it sounded good just because I think their sound guy helped them out, but I mean they looked like they just didn't even want to be up there. They were going through some shit back in the day.
The times. Yeah, there were some times.
Yeah, there were some times.
You stuck with them through all of that. They were your favorite band, and it was never in question. They were the only band that you were traveling to see, and that sort of thing. Like it was Deftones or die, huh?
Yeah, 100%. Like after 98, of course, when Pony came out in 2000, I mean, I was just just going to all of them. And then I didn't really start traveling until like Koi came out, and like going to, California and seeing shows. And then like with Instagram and everything, like when I think I got on Instagram, like right around Diamond Eyes came out and stuff, and I really started like, oh man, I want to go see other things, other venues and stuff, and just saved my money up, worked a bunch of overtime at work and saved my money up. It was just like, fuck it, I'm flying to LA. And all my, my family was like, you're crazy. You've seen him so many times. Why do you want to see him again? I go, you don't get it.
Yeah.
It is different every time. It's just a different energy. It's different people. It's,
great.
The atmosphere, and I mean, no show's ever been the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even when they're on the same tour and I see them one night in Austin and then the very next night with the same band open it up for him in San Antonio, it's a different show. It's different songs. He may come down to the rail, he may not, he may throw his guitar at Abe, I mean, there's all kinds of little things I remember from each show. Like, oh, that's when he busted his belts and his pants were, his ass was hanging out half the time and he was holding his pants the whole time. It was hilarious. The fool never has a belt on for some reason. I don't know why. I'm like, bro, get you a belt. Like I'm like worried about it. If I didn't have my belt, my ass would be showing all the time. So.
You got to get some elastic waistbands, bro.
Yeah, I know. Like
that's where I'm at.
Yeah, dude. I've had some shows where like I've had people just like try to steal my spot on the rail, and I'm like, nah, you don't get it. I've been here all day. I am not moving from this spot. I will tear your arms off if you try to get up here, you know what I mean? And I don't care who, I don't care if it's a chick or if it's whatever, but like if me and my
chicks
friends,
are the worst. Let's not get it twisted. The chicks are the worst because
like,
they think they're little and they can.
Yeah, I'm getting pushed around. Can I get up here? I'm like, nah, bitch.
I just want to see Chino. No, bitch, get out the way. I want to see Chino too.
I was like, he's right there, and
there he goes.
There. But I am not moving from this spot. And I've had dudes who have like, I had a guy like rack me like with his elbow like right down my ribs one time, and I was like, man, I don't want to choose violence, but I had to, because then that fool he was really just getting aggressive, and he was putting his elbow in my neck and trying to push me back.
Word.
And so he was a bigger dude, and I was like, I'm going to wait because I know when this song kicks in and I'm just going to nail this fool. And I elbowed him in the neck. And I'm not a violent person. I'm very non-confrontational, but I was just like, and it was, I think it was probably like head up or something. And then when it was like, and I was like, whack, and I just hit this fool. And I'm pretty sure I caught him in the throat, and he was like, and I was like, yeah, see you later, dude.
Oh my God.
I mean, sometimes you got to do that, man. You got to hold your shit down. I mean, when you're dedicated, like there ain't nothing that's going to put me, if I say I'm getting on the rail, I'm getting on the rail. I haven't been on the rail for any of the Dia shows. I've been to all three, but next year I'm probably going to be up there, dude. You got to get up there with me, bro. I mean, have you rode the rail shows? I'm sure you have.
Yeah, I did this spring, as a matter of fact. We did it in Milwaukee. Yeah,
there's nothing better, dude. That's the place you want to be.
Yeah,
you don't get to see the visuals too much with their new screens and shit because it's so close. But like, I mean.
Yeah, it was really fun because we did Milwaukee the Friday, and then Minneapolis the Sunday. And in Milwaukee we were on the rail, and then Minneapolis, like we were in the very back, like we were in a suite in the back, and so you could really like take it in,
like see them. Oh, dude, their light guy John Eddy, he's insane. That dude is at the top of his game. But like I saw the show on that tour in Houston, and I was on the rail, and then the Dallas show I got screwed out of tickets because I waited till last minute to get tickets. I tried to buy them from this dude on the Deftones, collectors Facebook page. He's like, yeah, just send me some money. And I was like, this doesn't sound right. I shouldn't do this. I don't know this cat. But this fool's actually bought merch from me before, right?
Oh, word.
Because I recognized his name because I had the serigraphs.
Oh, sure.
And then I went through some financial shit. So I was like, man, I gotta get rid of them,
Yeah.
And he bought all 5 of them from me, the ones that I had. And I was like, hey man, I sold you the serigraphs a couple years ago on eBay or through this site or whatever. And he was like, yeah, man, oh dude, I still got them. And he took a picture of them. They're like right behind him.
And he still didn't have a problem ripping you off though.
Yeah, dude, he totally ripped me off. And I had put something on Facebook about it. I was like, man, this, somebody like me who's dedicated, that shit's wrong, whatever. Well,
yeah,
luckily Chino's wife saw that and she was like, wait, hold up, what happened? And I was like, so I was messaging her and I was like, yeah, it's no big deal, whatever. She's like, how quick can you get to Dallas? I was like, probably 2 hours, 2.5 hours. She goes, I got you. And I was just like,
wow.
Like, what? And she's like, just go to will call, I got you. And I was like, man. So I got my girl and it was on a Tuesday and I was just like, hey, any chance you want to go to the show? And she's like, I'm getting ready right now. And I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but we may have tickets to get in. I don't know where the seats are, whatever. So that show was the Dallas stop on the Ohms tour. We got up there and immediately I come around the corner and I see Juan. And I'm like, what? Because I just saw him the night before in Houston or 2 nights before. And we had talked and he had told me about, some stuff going on with the Europe tour and everything. And I was kind of got some information before that, but on the DL, but he was just like, hey, am I going to see you in Dallas? I'm just like, yeah, man. And then, cause I knew then in Houston, I was like, I don't have tickets. I'm like, and I got screwed out of money and I can't, I wasn't going to drive up there and go sit on the lawn, dude. Cause I was like, man, that's just going to piss me off. But she was Risa was very generous to do that. And like, she was like, have a good time. You're fucking dedicated. I know how much you love the guys and, they appreciate you and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, man, I was like really emotional that night. I was like, I had my girl with me and like, we had seats that were behind the pit and that venue is a Live Nation venue. So nobody who works at Live Nation knows who the hell's at their own venue. So I walked up to the table and I had my hand on the barcode on the tickets. Right. And I just walked up. I said, hey, they told me I should come see you and get the wristbands for the pit. I didn't get them when I walked in there. Go, okay, sweetie, here you go. And I'm just like, holy shit, that worked. So we got in the pit, got up to the rail, and like he came down. Like he wasn't coming down that tour because of COVID and shit, right? Because they had just got out of COVID. Like he didn't come down to the rail in Houston. He came over to it like from the stage, but he didn't come down. But he came down in Dallas and he saw me and he pointed to me and he like gave me fist bump and my chick was in front of me and she was like, oh my God. And I was just like, she's like, his arm touched me. And I was just like, all right, calm down. But he saw me, like, hey, you kind of like, he gave me that look like, oh, cool, you got in. And I was just like, yeah, dude. But I mean, that was the coolest thing. Like, I mean, I don't ask for shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever just like bug the crap out of her or, Chino or whatever. And, I mean, the fact that she was like recognized that I just lost out on some money and I was devastated about it, because I have been to so many shows, but it's still like, it's like the fact that I'm not there. It's like, I feel like I'm expected to be there just because they're in Texas. They're in my atmosphere. You know what I mean? I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah.
So
that's dope.
But that was one of the coolest things ever, man. And then, I mean, you can't really beat that. We had VIP all access. We didn't get to go backstage or anything, but they were doing the meet and greet on that tour and stuff. And it was, from what my friends said, it was kind of whack just because they were like at a table behind the stage and like you couldn't be next to them because of the COVID protocols and all that. And I get it, but
right.
You want to get a picture with your band, and stuff like that, which is weird because I'm wondering why they didn't do that for this dia. You know what I mean? Like my friends had VIP for this dia, and they just said it was like all this side stage stuff over there by the on Steph's side.
Yeah,
which is
dope.
Some of that.
Which is dope. I didn't do the VIP this year, but I did it for the second year.
Yeah.
Well, it was because I won the contest or whatever online.
Oh hell yeah.
So
awesome.
Yeah, it was super cool, except for we waited in line all day to meet Deftones, and we missed like we missed, I think, a lot of Hum, we missed a lot of Brutus, we missed
Megan Thee Stallion.
Well, we were back in time for May, so that was kind of tight. But the like the side backstage or whatever, the like VIP stuff is super cool. And like meeting the band is rad, and it's definitely it's, if you've never done it, I think it's worth that VIP ticket.
Right.
But you're right, like for being at the table or whatever, like that's a tough ticket if you're not gonna get to like shake hands, dap them up, you know what I mean, and like get that photo, because that's what's up.
I get why they do it, man. I mean, they're pretty far along in their career, and they don't have to do that shit. I think that when they did the Diamond Eyes tour, I mean, that was their hey, we're back. Like, we want to see everybody. We want to show all this love. And I mean, that was a cool experience for me, because I got that poster like right over here. I don't know if you see it.
Hard. Yeah. So you had a good time at that, because that was the first tour that they did.
Yeah, that was the 2010 one. And then I did it for the 2011 one when they came back around too. And that was a little different. That was I think that was just like they were at a bar that was in the venue, and they were like, you just go hang out with them and stuff. They didn't have a professional photographer or nothing taking pictures. Not at that stop anyways. They might have had it at other stops, but not at that one.
Yeah.
But
so you remember do you remember what they sound checked, or do you remember any of that experience of that sound check from
well, I was at
over
the
a
show
decade ago?
I mean, I was at the CD release for Diamond Eyes when they did. Remember when
the
they
one
did
at Trees or whatever, when they played it all the way through? You were at that one.
Yeah, so they did the whole webcast thing with no crowd. So they played the whole album, right? Nobody was in the venue but the sound guys, and so they were recording all that shit. And we were outside and we're jamming, and we're just like, why the fuck aren't they letting us in? And then they let us in for the actual show, because that was a show, that was a thing, you had to be there and all that stuff. And then they played most of the album, and then they played a bunch of other shit and had an actual show. And there's video, I think there's footage of that too online. But Trees, I don't know. I mean, Trees probably is like, okay, so you're in Minnesota, so it's probably like I don't know how big the rave used to be. Is probably like what, 1,500.
Well, that's maybe. How you know my city. That's what's up. I've been to Trees too. I know what's up with Deep Ellum.
Dude, I know venues, bro. Like I because like, bro, you don't even know, bro. I had a whole box full of nothing but Deftones bootleg VHS tapes.
Word.
And I guarantee you, I have that show that was filmed in Irving Plaza in '97 that like was from the side of the stage. I had a show from Minneapolis. I think it might have been Ozfest. Somebody recorded from like way the fuck up in the nosebleeds. I don't know. Or maybe it was that tour they did with Black Sabbath when they opened for Black Sabbath and Pantera opened or something, and they were on a couple of those shows. But like, I had a Minneapolis DVD, or not a DVD, but a VHS, and I had all that shit, dude. And I used to, dude, this is so crazy. I'm telling on myself. I hope the FBI is not listening. But I used to dub those. I used to record those and sell them on eBay.
Oh, you were a taper?
Yeah, dude. Like, I had the whole setup, and I was just like, I never converted nothing to DVD, and I'm kicking myself for it now, because I don't know where those fucking videos are, and I hope they didn't get sold in a garage sale. But dude, they've been in some warehouse probably at my dad's house for 15, 20 years, and the summers we have here, I'm sure they're fucking toast. But yeah, dude, I had a couple of Pro Shot like VHS tapes that I just recorded over and over and over again. And I think I had shows up until self-titled, but it was mostly White Pony shows and like shows from '97 and stuff. And I had Bizarre Festival in '98 recorded, like the whole set, because it was all Pro Shot. The one where he's in the red windbreaker and it's raining,
Classic.
That was dude, that's a banger right there for sure. Yeah, but like,
that's the one.
I used to dub those, and that was like, this is money going right back into them, because I would pay for tickets to see that shit. Because like, I didn't have a great job. I mean, I bounced around jobs and stuff. I was like, I've got to figure out a way to go to the show. And so I was like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to sell these bootleg ass DVD or bootleg VHS tapes.
Dude, that's dope. You're the second.
Yeah, but the Diamond Eyes,
I guess third taper I've had on the show. That's fucking right.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's not my proudest moment, but it is what it is. But no, the Diamond Eyes tour, man, dude, that was so was so crazy. Like seeing that show and then seeing all the rest of the shows from that tour, you know. And I'm trying to remember, she passed away in the middle of that tour, if I'm correct, like, because it was before Koi, I think. Gosh, man, my memory's like, my timeline's way off. I should have wrote all this shit down, but like,
I know, right? That's all right. That's memory's imperfect. That's part of the deal.
Yeah, I remember a bunch of my friends meet, like Gilbert. Gilbert's a really good friend of mine, and when he was living here in Dallas, still, they played a radio show. It's called Edge Fest or something. It was in Frisco. It was in this soccer stadium, and we had gone to the show, and I recorded most of that too. I think that's on my YouTube, at least most of that show. And that night we went out and set off some lanterns for Chi. Like, we had a friend make those lanterns, like, and she spray painted a stencil of his face. And so we sent them off and like had our own little, like, you know, memorial for Chi. And
wow,
you know,
cool.
I love that dude, man. I've had a couple interactions with Chi, and I mean, he was always so happy to see anybody. Like, he was always just like, he would act like he was your best friend, even though he didn't know your name. You know, he didn't know my name, but I was just like, brother. And he was just like, hey, man. And then he was always giving hugs. And I got to go to the Virgin Megastore signing too. And when they released Saturday Night Wrist, I was working on cruise ships at the time. Like, I started working on cruise ships in like 2004. So I missed a little bit of the Taste of Chaos shows that they did in 2006, but I caught a bunch of the Saturday Night Wrist shows because they always seemed to be around my area whenever I was off the ship. Like, whenever I would do 6 months on the ship, and then I'd take 2 or 3 months off, and then I'd do another contract. But I faked a family emergency, so because I was in LA, I was out of Long Beach, and I was like, told my boss, because I was an American, so I had my passport, and I was like, family emergency, I gotta go. So I would sign off the ship, and a comedian buddy of mine let me crash at his place in Hollywood. And I was like, he goes, oh, hey, I went to the Virgin Megastore today and got you these little armbands. You think you need those? Because he knew I was a huge fan. I go, I fucking love you, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? And he's
wow.
Like, he goes, you need to pack your shit and sign off, because you got till 4:00 to sign off, because the show. So like, I actually flew home to see them play at a basketball arena for some LG Sports, like BMX, like skateboarding thing. They were the band. It was on ESPN or something, and they played like that Friday night maybe. So I flew home from LA to Dallas, went to that show, and it was terrible, dude. Like, the whole floor was skate ramps and vert ramps and bike ramps, and then the stage, and then everybody was in the bowl watching all this shit, and you couldn't get down on, like, I was like, oh, they're gonna let people down on the floor for the show, because the show was after the ramps and all that shit. They didn't let anybody down there, and I was like, I'm fucking jumping down there, like, I'm getting down to the front, and I was like, I'm about to get kicked out. Me and my brother almost got kicked out, but we were just sitting there and we had to rock out in seats, and they were like so far away. They were like way the hell down there, and I was like, oh, this is driving me crazy. But then they played a couple more, like they played another festival in Texas, and then I flew back to LA the night of Saturday Night Wrist release, and they played in that store. That's where I didn't meet Angel, but like a few of the friends that I have now were at that show, and some of my friends that I've had for 10 years were at shows in 97, and we didn't even know each other, and like, we're like, oh, were you there? I was, holy shit. You know, and I mean, it's just crazy that we've all had that same experience and been in the same space, but like, you know, didn't know each other at the time.
Totally.
But, that Virgin Megastore signing was just crazy, because it's like a Best Buy, and they just moved all the CDs and shit over. And I mean, there was probably 300 kids in there, maybe. And they tore it up, bro. I mean, they just, you know, I think they played most of the songs off the album, and then they let everybody out. We had to line up around the back of the store. Right there, it's right there on Hollywood Boulevard. I don't even know what the hell it is now. It's probably like a damn Sephora or some shit. But we come back in, and they had tables set up, and they were signing the booklet. They were signing the Saturday Night Wrist booklet. I don't know if you can see it right there.
There it
Pretty
is.
cool. It's upside down. My bad.
No, that slaps.
But they were signing that, and that was the last time I saw Chi, man. You know. And I gave him a big hug across the table. Steph was like, hey, what's up? You know, and he had his sunglasses. He's too cool to fucking talk to anybody. But just like, and then like, I told Chino, because I just started talking to him. I said, "Hey man, it's a good show in Dallas, Friday night." And he was like, "Oh shit, you were in Dallas?" I said, "Yeah, dude, I fly all over the place to see y'all," which was a total lie. But I was just like,
it was a lie then.
It was a lie then, but like I was just like, yeah, man. I said, I'm out here, I'm doing my thing. But that was my first like LA show and all that stuff. And I think shortly after that's when she passed on, or was when he had his wreck, and then he was, in the coma. That's the last time I saw him. But that dude, man, he's always been so cool. Like, whenever you see him, and they could have stopped everything. You know what I'm saying? They could have said, fuck this, and we're not going to do this anymore. And, when they came out with Diamond Eyes, man, I was just like thrilled. I was like, man, this is honestly like, it was like a rebirth for me. It was another Around the Fur for me kind of thing, because I got chills when I heard that record. I was just like freaking out.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember being so cool, like blown away by the album. But something that you said also resonates with me, that you said at the beginning of our conversation, was how you remember it was touch and go. Like it really didn't. Yeah. And I feel like, we talk about Diamond Eyes and some hindsight, like it being a rebirth and stuff, but we really don't talk about how close to the end it really felt like for some years between Self-Titled and Diamond Eyes, even throughout the release of Saturday Night Riz and Team Sleep's awesome album, which it was super exciting, but it only really fueled that, like, is our favorite band done?
Yeah, when I was excited for Team Sleep stuff too, but I was like, man, is this Chino saying, fuck this drama, I'm out of here, like,
because it was so good. It was so good. You're like, I could see him doing this.
And I mean, I've seen him give interviews and stuff before where he's like, yo, I'm not going to be able to scream forever. I want to, I'm not going to be up there when I'm 60, crouching down and doing the thing. And,
false.
They've adapted, bro. They've really adapted their sound, and each record is just it's an onion, bro. It's just another layer of how amazing they are and talented they are as musicians, because it's just like, oh shit, oh, you think that's cool? Check this out. Oh, you think that's dope? Listen to Genesis. Oh, you think that's badass? Listen to Pompeii. Or you can really hear Frank on this newest record too, because like you're just like whoa, holy shit, because like there's some isolated tracks on YouTube of Diamond Eyes without any of the vocals. It's the instrumentals. And then you can really hear, like, I could hear Frank on Risk more than I could like on the album, and I was like, oh shit, I never heard that layer of that sound until they isolated the vocals. And I was like, man, that's just, as a fan, you just geek out on little technical shit like that,
Totally. And, but you notice that stuff live too, right? Like, especially somebody like you who's seen them live so many times. Yeah. Doesn't it make you wonder, like, why it took till Ohms to be like, man, let's pump dude up in the mix?
Right. Sometimes his sounds a little bit louder than it should be on wherever I'm at on the stage. And like, my friends hate me too, because like I will know right before they start a song, I'll be like, it's Rosemary. Oh, it's Cherry Waves. And they're like, shut the fuck up, Russ. And I'm just like, no, it's Rosemary. Because it'll start that little synthesizer thing. I was like, oh shit, it's Rosemary. And then he comes out and they're, how do you fucking know? And I was like, who are you talking to? Like, bro, I've listened to this shit thousands of times. I have collected their shit. I mean, I don't have as much as Aaron does, because dude, that dude's got, he's got everything. I've got a bunch of shit that I don't even have hung up in here, but like I've got a few prized possessions, but I've collected their stuff, and I've just supported the band because their stuff to me, like, because I'm an artist, like these posters are art to me. It's graphic art. I've got a lot of Jermaine Rogers posters and Frank Maddox. I got a bunch of his stuff. I mean, I want to buy some more Frank stuff. That dude is just so talented. He's a huge inspiration to me. And I'm not even a graphic artist. I just do like abstracts and mixed media stuff like that. But he does a lot of mixed media, and I mean, that cat has been doing their stuff for, I don't know what, since Pony, right?
Yeah, since Pony. Yeah. Have you ever gifted the band any of your art?
No. I was gonna take some prints or something to one of the shows, but I just didn't know how I'd get it to him. I've told Chino's wife, like, hey, I know y'all moved in. I want to send you guys a housewarming present. And she's like, oh, okay. And then like, she's not gonna send me their address. Yeah. But I did. Whenever they got married, this is how I kind of like really started to be in their little orbit, I guess. When they got married, dude, I'm such a stalker. It's kind of creepy, but it's not. I just looked up their wedding registry on Google. I just
sure, of course. Why not?
Chino Marino, Risa Marino, and there it is. It's right there. And like I was like, I'm gonna buy him a wedding present. Fuck it.
Oh, that's
dude. So I bought him. I bought him some like dish towels and like some spatulas or something, right? And like they weren't cheap. Like they were. I mean, they wanted that crafty.
These were some nice ass dish towels.
Yeah, these were some nice ass dish towels, bro. Like I don't know. They were like
this shit went from Five Below. This shit was
bro. They were from like Crate and Barrel or I don't know what the hell, some sort of fancy
Pottery Barn ass, nice
something like that, right?
Yeah,
and nice they had already had a lot of stuff bought off that registry, so I was like, man, fuck it. So I sent it, and this was before her and I were friends on Instagram, because like I've requested Chino to be my friend on Instagram, but he ain't gonna do that. He ain't worried about that. But
yeah,
like, it's all love. But so like probably 2 months later, I get a box to my house. And I had been in transition of like me and my wife at the time had just finished our lease. So we had to live with my mom for like a month. And then we were moving into a new place. Like it was a whole, like, you got to get it first of the month kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So my mom calls me at work and she's like, you got a package. I was like, okay, well, I'm at work. I got to go. She goes, it's from Bend, Oregon. And I'm like, what's the return address? And she said Marino, and I said, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, take a picture of it, send it to me. And it says, the screenshot, it says from Risa Marino, and I'm like, I almost left work, bro. I was like, how big is the box? She goes,
you're like family emergency, I gotta go.
I was at work, and I worked nights, so I was like, it was like 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and she's like, well, it'll be here in the morning when you get home. And I was like, I'm about to fucking leave work right now. But she sent me a picture, and it was like half the size of a shoebox. It was just a box taped up with a label on it. And I was like, dude, I was freaking out. So I got home, and I was looking at it on the counter. I was like, man, I don't want to open this. I want to like be in the right headspace. So I was like, let me go outside. Let me have a cup of coffee, and let me just kind of wrap my head around this. And I was just like, all right. So I opened it up, and dude, I'll show you. So this was in there.
Shut the front door. You got some Chino socks, bro?
I don't know if you can see it, bro, but it's like,
no.
These are from the Fool's sock drawer, bro.
Dude.
Straight up. I've never fucking worn these. I've always had these, but like she sent me 3 pair, right? 3 pair like rolled up like that.
No way.
Hold on, I'll show you what else she sent.
Holy shit.
Hold on. I love this. So she sends me the Sasha Grey pick.
That's tight.
And then this one from back in the day, White Pony pick with Chino.
Dude.
Yeah, and then there was
those are from the those are from the personal collection.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah. I got a bunch more. I got a bunch of Steph's picks, and I got a couple of Sergio's picks too. But there was a note in there, and it was written on like notebook paper, and it said, to Russ, thanks so much for thinking of us on our special day. We really appreciate the hand towels and the spatulas. Now if I can only get Chino to learn how to use them, like in the kitchen, or and I was just like, and she like signed it. He signed it, and then she signed it, and then she put like XOXO or something on there, and I was like, bro, you're a love letter. Holy shit. But I was
please tell me you have that framed in your house somewhere. Please tell me you got that framed.
I can't fucking find the letter, bro. I can't find the letter, and I have a good idea of what happened to it, because not having to touch on the whole divorce thing, but there were some things that came up missing.
Oh man,
during that transition of the divorce. But hey,
bummer.
It is what it is.
Oh man,
because she knew that she knew that was a prized possession.
Yeah,
but
that was a nice.
I got out with more stuff than I was expecting to get out of it. But hey.
And you can't take away that experience of
and I was
that package, receiving opening that package. That's phenomenal, dude. That's phenomenal.
It was
all because you decided to be a decent human being for a second and think about them as people as opposed to icons. Do you know what I'm saying?
Because like when you do it on the registry, obviously it doesn't show their address or whatever, but they got it. They saw that it was for me. I typed out a little note like, hey, so happy for you guys, all love, Russ from Texas, and she knew it was me. And so she, because I'd leave a return address or whatever, but I remember it was the Koino Yokan signing that they did in Dallas, because they opened up that tour in Dallas, right? So we went to a record shop, and I get all the way up there, and I see Chino, and I give him a hug, and I said, "Hey man, you been using them dish towels?" He goes, "You got any of those?" And I was just like, "Yeah, bro." I said, "Hold on, check this out." And I raised my leg up, and I had on another pair of the socks. I was like, "Bro, I got your socks on right now." I was like, "These are from your fucking drawer at your house." And he's like, "I don't know how I feel about that." And I was just like, "No, man, it's all good." He goes, "Oh man," he goes, "Man, thank you, man, appreciate it." And and he's like, "You gonna beat the show tonight?" And I was like, "Come on, bro."
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm gonna beat the show. And you know what's crazy? There was a porn star there. She was like with the DJ or something at this record signing thing, and she was like trying to like talk in my ear or whatever. Is that it was a chick, Rachel Starr. Google her. You know, she's
yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah,
turn my safe search off first.
Yeah. Delete her off your history. But she was there, and she was like, she was being obnoxious as shit. And I remember Abe was saying, like, Abe was on the end, and Abe was like, "What was that bitch saying?" I was like, "I don't know. She's saying she loves y'all or something." He goes, "Man, I bet she can't even name one of our songs." And I was like, "You know what? I bet she can't." And he's like, "I'm gonna go ask her." And then he's just being Abe, dude. Abe is the comedy king of that band, dude.
For real.
He is a cool cat. But yeah, like I've had just a couple of those experiences to where it's just like, I mean,
that's surreal.
That's kind of when he started noticing me and just kind of.
I would imagine you got him a fucking wedding gift. That's cool as shit, dude. If there was a good way to get attention, fuck starting a podcast. Get him a wedding gift.
I mean, I was asking my friends, I was like, hey, is that creepy? And they're just like, "It's a little creepy."
A little creepy, but just creepy enough.
I was like, but in a good way. And he goes, "Well, yeah, it's he goes, "You're respecting boundaries. You're not like at their house looking through their window." And I was like, "Yeah, no."
I mean, it really isn't a stretch, a logic. Like it's a pretty easy conclusion to make. Like, oh, they're engaged, they're getting married, they got a registry. Right. It would be a nice thing to do.
My invitation must have got lost in the mail. I'll send you guys a wedding present.
Dude,
they got married like Hawaii.
About that, it's funny that it was that at that time too. So that was the first time that I got to interview Chino, and Sergio was it was the Knot Fest, I think just before Koi was released, and at the end of the conversation we like take pictures or whatever, and I'm like, "Hey bro, are you ever gonna drop some Chino socks?" Like it was just sort of an aside, like it was a question that I wanted to ask personally, not like a question that was gonna be an interview question, because the Chino socks hadn't been a thing for a decade at that point. Like they hadn't been a thing for a minute, and that was still like that was happening at that time. Do you know what I'm saying? Like in my mind, I'm thinking like he hasn't even thought of Chino socks in a decade, right? And yet at the same time, his wife just sent you some Chino socks.
Yeah,
that's some wild shit, dude. That's some wild.
Dude, he could have made so much money off of that. I mean, I don't think he wears the socks, because these are those long ones, dude. Like these are like, I don't think he wears ones. I don't think these are straight up under your knee. I don't think he even wears that size anymore. But
shits are like thigh highs.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, I know that they've got those $30 Deftones socks on the site, and everything. A bunch of my homegirls have those. But like, yeah, man, he could make a ton of money off of those.
Oh, those
things.
would kill.
Bring them back. Just bring them back, dude. I mean, you know how many color combinations you can get in socks now? It's like crazy.
Oh my god, yeah. That's an opportunity that I feel like I would buy all the socks. I would buy all those socks.
I just got an email today that my Around the First shit's headed this way, so I'm excited about that. The anniversary stuff, the hoodie. I got.
What'd you cop? I copped the hoodie and the hat. What'd you get?
I got the hoodie and the beanie, and I want to go back and get the puzzle. I think that's kind of cool, just to like do the puzzle and then like maybe frame it, glue it all together.
Yeah,
and stuff.
It's different. It's different.
Yeah,
do you have a favorite piece of other than the Chino socks? Do you have a favorite piece of Deftones memorabilia?
Man, I got a bunch of shit, dude. Oh, hold up, I'll show you this. Hold on, let me get my phone.
Of course.
Can you see that? Right there.
Oh wow!
That's the original Warped Tour poster from '98, and then like that's my first ticket.
That's hard. Yeah.
That's my first ticket of the show I didn't barely see, and then that's the next one in November on the House of Fur tour. Back when they actually had tickets. I don't know if you can see it. It's probably
yeah. No, it looks.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
That's super dope.
Let's see what I got over here. It's weird to do this without. But like this is some stuff. Like I said, I don't have as much shit as Aaron does, but like I probably got a bunch more records.
Oh, you got a bunch of good. You got some good set lists. You got some good tour posters.
This is a set list from the Incubus tour, and then this is the first. I think that's the first. When they opened with Ricketts, maybe it was the second.
That was wild.
Can you see that?
Yeah, that's hard.
This is when they played at the observatory. Look at song they opened up with. He's it.
Wow, look at that.
Instagram. This was when I saw him in Bend, Oregon, where she from. That's where they were living.
Super sick. Yeah, that picture goes super hard.
Some shit. And then check this one out. This is a.
Yeah.
Dude. Look, the Deftones.
The Deftones. With the glass jaw.
With the glass jaw.
Oh, that one's hard. Yeah, them Jermaine Rogers joints, they go so hard, man. I really.
This one right here behind me. Yeah, sorry, this is all dirty. There glows in the dark.
Oh, cool.
You can see it, but like those hands right there that are grabbing that glow.
Yeah. Sick.
That's one of my favorites. That's from Austin show. That video that I sent you on PBS.
Yeah. I haven't watched it yet. That's from that. I've seen that print. Tons of times. There's a whole like series by that artist. Are those Jermaine?
I don't know if you can see it, but a little doodle right here.
Oh yeah, the little skull there.
Yeah.
Sick. Is that a Jermaine Rogers piece?
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, there's like a series of those that are just too cool. Yeah, those are super. It's hard as hell.
Yeah.
Damn.
And there's the diamond eyes, like lithographs. Yeah. Those are so cool, man. I love those posters.
Yeah, I really love those a lot too.
Yeah.
The penguins, or the flamingos. Mm-hmm.
I tried to like keep all my tickets. There's the poster from the release party.
Dude, that's so sick that you went to that. I can't believe they made everybody stand outside while they did the playthrough. I guess I didn't realize, like, cause I feel like in watching that on YouTube, like I thought I heard fans, but
no.
I guess I'm mistaken. I don't know.
They played the whole album, and then they played the show.
So weird. I mean, that's super tight. I like that a lot.
That's like a big light record thing they put.
Oh, it's from the display at the store or whatever. You put it. That's tight. That's a good idea.
I just put it on my window just so it can come through the light. But yeah, I got a bunch more shit, man. I just missing some posters. Like I'm like, well, where the fuck did I do with that? So I got shit rolled up under my bed. I got all kinds of crap, bro.
Yeah,
when I get a bigger house, I'm gonna have a whole thing going on. So
yeah, I've sort of run out of room, but I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna keep adding. I don't give a shit.
Oh, hold on. Let me show you one more thing I got in my living room. Excuse my mess right here.
No, don't be sorry at all.
So this is above my TV.
Whoo, that goes.
I'm trying to get it. Okay, so that's a big ass print. Okay. Oh, there we go. That's a big ass print from a show they did in Austin. And my buddy ordered one, and he's the one who took the print. He's a photographer. He took the print, and they fucked it up shipping. And so he ordered, and I sent him another one, and he's like, "Yo, I got this extra print. It's got a little ding on the corner. You want it?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" Because I can see my hand in it, right? Like my hand's sticking up because I was on the rail, and I was like, "Bro, there's my hand right there." And he's just like, "Oh yeah, I got you, man." Dude, he got a couple of pictures of me from that show because he had access to like the first 5 songs or some shit.
Sure. Yeah.
So that one was too big to put in this little small ass room in the man cave, but I was like, man, I want to see that shit right behind my TV every time I'm watching shows and shit. So
hell yeah, dude, that one's awesome. You should put like some lights up on that shit. Like that shit looks gangster, bro. That's
I got my TV lights kind of going on it, but I thought about putting some of those little LED strip lights
or whatever. Yeah, blow that shit up. That's it. Yeah. I love the photography now. Almost. Like I still really enjoy getting tour posters and lithographs or whatever, but I really do like getting the live photos. Like you can see one over my shoulder. This is from that Knot Fest.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And it was
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, I know the photographer or whatever, because he does photos for the radio station. They're on stage. You can't really tell it's them, but this storm rolled in right as they were about to start playing. And it was just
that's creepy as hell.
Yeah, it was just fucking, it was like this unbelievable storm that was coming in. So it's like
I've got
moments
so many
of time,
photos.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean those are awesome. I got so many good photos I need to print out, man. Like I've got all those photos from like the rail where like the lights coming through, behind Chino, and it's just his silhouette and he's crouching down screaming. I mean, I put most of them on Instagram, but I need to get some of that shit printed out, bro, because some of that shit looks really, really cool. I've got one of him in Corpus where he's like holding his hands out like that and doing the Jesus pose, but I mean all the lights are shooting out behind him. And I think it's probably on my Instagram, but like, I was like, man, that's a picture I need to get blown up in like a big ass print, because that's cool as hell. He knows what he looks like behind them lights. I bet he was like, yeah, man, this looks cool as shit. This is for a photo.
You have to imagine that is part of why the lights have become such a central part of the stage anymore. Like, because everything is for Instagram and everything is socials, and so having a good photo or dope video is what's up.
I remember sneaking in disposable cameras to shows, right? Dude, in '97 there were no cell phones.
Shit and being like, shit.
Yeah, no, dude, I had 3. Like, because
it's like I came in with 3.
Dude, I went to Walmart and got the ones that are like 36, right? And I got 3 of them fools, and I had to shove them down my front of my pants because that's not where they pat you down at.
Right.
So one time, I think one of these security guard chicks kind of bumped one, and she goes, "What is that?" And I go, "I'm just really excited to be here." And she's like, "Oh," and I was just like, "Well, because I'm like, you're not taking my cameras because this is the only way I can document this shit, right?"
Word.
And I got a picture of Chino jumping into the crowd back when he used to do that, like off the stage jumping.
Yeah.
At the Godsmack, when they opened for Godsmack in 2001.
Yeah.
And it was at an amphitheater, and he was just like, he was pissed because his guitar was out of tune for Change. And he fucking threw that bitch across, like he threw it over Abe's head. Like he unplugged it and just chunked that bitch. And it was his really nice that red one that he had, that dark maroon one that he had that I guess it's a Gibson. I don't know guitars, but he threw it over, and Abe was just kind of like drumming, and he went I mean, it was like,
that a bird?
Yeah, he was pissed, and Steph's just sitting there playing his part like, why the fuck did you do that? Now we're not gonna be able to finish the song.
Yeah, he's like, so you play most of this shit.
Dude, it was funny as shit because he just stood there holding his mic, and he was like, he wasn't singing. And so the guitar guy came and put it like over him like that, and he just kind of like walked off stage, and he like, and then played the rest of the song, and then they went into like 7 words, and man, he did the squeal like a pig and jumped into the crowd, and I got like right as he jumped, and I mean the mic cord's going on like this. I had that shit blown up, and it's rolled up with all the other ones somewhere. I don't even know where the hell it is. Probably my attic, but I need to get that one back out and framed because I got it printed. I got it printed out big, and I mean it's just him jumping into the crowd. And that was a special show too, because that was the first show I went to with my brother, and we had a moment in the pit to where we just locked hands, and I was just like, let's fucking go, and he was like, this is crazy. And I was like, I got you, bro. He's younger than me. And I was like, don't be scared. I got you. And like probably during engine number 9, we were doing circle pit shit, just going crazy. Cause I was like, hey, we're fucking here. We're going to have fun. Nothing's going to happen to us. It's all these people are here to see Godsmack anyway. So they're about to be done. And then we're going to go, I was like, we're going to go get some nachos after this, cause I don't give a shit about Godsmack. I ain't going to be up front for them. And yeah, it was a good time, man. It was a good show. But that show in Bend, where that was on 4th of July, and I flew to Portland, drove down to Bend with some homegirls, and we got up front for that. And he gave me a shout out there too. I got that on my Instagram too. But he was just like, I see you everywhere, man. I love seeing you, dude. Because like I'll show up in different states, and he like notices me because I'm either wearing a hat or I'm right up front, and he's just like, he notices my face, and I'm like, that means more to me than anything, dude. I can have all the posters, I can have every single thing they've ever put out on vinyl, I can do all that, but like getting noticed and getting that respect back, getting that love back, because I've put in so much of my time and my life. I mean, these cats, they don't have to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they're the soundtrack to my life. You know what I mean? They're the soundtrack to a lot of people's lives, and a lot of people have been through so many different things. Like, I could tell you like what I was going through at what album cycle, and like what song that I can't listen to anymore because of somebody, or that it's hard to listen to. I mean, it's been part of my DNA for since 97, dude. I mean, you know, and I'm so thankful and forever grateful for those dudes just giving me a heads up or giving me a fist bump on the rail. Just like, it's just that love back that they give back. It's that energy, you know. And I mean, you know, hella inspirational. I mean, I'm not a musician, so I don't know a lot about, you know, like, oh, he played that in B flat or whatever. You know, I don't know a lot of that stuff, but I know songs before they fucking start. You know, I mean, I ain't trying to toot my own horn, but I know shit. You know, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be, you know, Engine, or this is gonna be, you know. I remember them playing When Girls Telephone Boys, and no one knew what the hell the song was, and I was like, oh my god, because I heard the chick going, it's hella sensitive, and I was like, motherfucker, holy shit. I was like, they're gonna play this, dude. And he played that. They played that when that whole show that I filmed in Louisiana. You'll have to go back on my YouTube and watch it. But he got down on the rail with us for When Girls Telephone Boys, and you can hear my dumbass trying to scream to him, like I was screaming with him because he was in my face. And you know, I've got a couple videos of me screaming, and I'm so off key. I'm just like, you know, my voice is shot by that point. But you know, I mean, he loves that shit. He loves coming down and just like, you know, because we're the diehards, you know what I mean? Like, we're up there for a fucking reason. We're not up there just because like we paid all this money to get VIP and we got in early. I mean, you know, there's diehards there, and like, you know, I love those experiences. Each show's a different experience, and each time, you know, because I mean, they're not gonna do this forever. So you gotta really enjoy it and love it and live in the moment. I mean, just the past recent Ohms tour, right? Like, I helped a little kid and his mom get up there. Like, this kid was 15 and his mom was, well, she was smoking hot. But like, I was like, hey, come on up here. Yeah, you need to be next to me. And I was like, you're the coolest fucking mom here. And she's like, are we going to be okay? And I was like, you just got to worry about crowd surfers. I said, but I mean, it's 2022. I don't think anybody really does that shit anymore. I was wrong. But, you know, I was like, you know, I said, I got you. It's fine. I said, just enjoy this. I said, because when Gojira comes out, they're going to melt your fucking face off. And then you can decide if you want to be up here for Deftones. And the kid stuck it out, bro. Like, he stuck it out the whole time with me. And he was just headbanging and rock. I was like, your neck's going to be so sore tomorrow, bro. And he's like, I know. And I was just like, but I mean, he was loving it because it's cool to see, like, that could be my kid, you know. I mean, I don't have any kids, but like, I'm 43, so that could be my kid. And I mean, he was discovering them for the first time, and I was like, bro, that was me in 97. Holy shit. Like, I was crazy like that in 97, headbanging, hitting my hand on the rail, you know, bloody knuckles, just being all weird and shit, and just mosh pits. And I mean, I caught Chino jumping off the speakers one time and like caught his shoe and like handed it back to him as he was getting pushed back up to the thing.
Oh, you gave it back.
I was like, here, you might need this. And he was just like, oh, yeah. It was like, I think it was probably during 7 Words or something, but he got up on the speaker rack back when he used to do crazy kamikaze shit like that, and just, you know, jumped off into the crowd. You know, he don't do that much anymore. Every now and then he'll kind of fall into the crowd, but you know, he doesn't jump off speakers anymore. He's not crazy.
No, it takes a lot longer to recover anymore.
I know, right? I know, man. I know. Yeah, I'm just thankful that they're still doing it after all these years, because they, like you said, they could have just hung it up or whatever. But I think they're really, honestly, they're setting themselves up. I know Chino is anyway, with crosses and everything else. Like, he's setting himself up to have something after Deftones, to have a life after Deftones. I think he's always going to make music, whatever it is. I think he's, you know, even if he goes into like producing or something, he's still gonna, that's his gig. That's what he's gonna do. You know, Steph, I don't know. Steph's I'm not surprised he's still here, to be honest with you. That dude smoked more weed than anybody I've ever known. He's a cool cat though, but like, you know, I mean, he may get to where he wants to call it quits one day and just be like, I got enough money, I'm good. You know, I don't want to do this shit anymore. You know, and I was really worried about the whole European tour thing, you know, because he's you know, he was real adamant about that. I was like, man, you know, even on this tour too, I was real nervous about like seeing Lance and seeing Fred, and then I was just like, I was like, yep, that went right out the window. I was like, this sounds fucking awesome because he can focus and isolate his vocals now and not have to worry about playing guitar. And I mean, hearing Beware without him playing guitar, this tour sounded like a brand new song to me because I was just like, he can really focus on the high pitched part, and he can,
he does not write easy shit to sing. He does not he doesn't make it. There's never been a song where he's like, yeah, let me just take it easy. I'm talking about like on the recorded track. So when he's got to perform it live, I can see how some of that shit would be prohibitive because it's like, man, that's not easy shit to sing. You know what I mean? And play and run around for a couple hours. Like that's a lot. That's a lot.
I mean, on this tour, I mean, I'm trying to figure out what all songs he didn't play guitar on. It was like Beware. He played on Change. He played on Sex Tape. I can't remember. There's a couple others. I think Cherry Waves they played, and he didn't play guitar. But I mean that shit, it just sounded so good because like they can auto tune his voice some. Like I think he wants them to do it some, but like I could hear some effects on a couple of things, but I mean it just made it sound that much better. You know what I mean? Especially
having Lance, because Lance, what he frees up for Chino, and then like vocally, the backup vocals have been like he's killing it.
Lance can scream, bro. Like I was getting
it's Chi-esque.
I got some Chi-esque, like, I mean, I was like, what the fuck? Who's that? And he was off to the stage, and I couldn't see him at one point.
He's all like hiding his shit. Yeah, I know.
I was like, who's screaming? That ain't Frank. That ain't Steph. They don't have a mic. And I was just like, oh shit, that's our boy Lance. Oh damn.
Yeah.
He's like on cloud 9, bro. I mean, he's getting to play with his idols, I mean, that's just like
word.
He's been around a whole minute too. And like Fred, they seem to really gel with Fred, I didn't get a chance to meet him on this tour, but I did see Lance, and I said what's up to Lance, but he was like going to get food or something, but I didn't mess with him too much. But
so what
I'm liking it, dude. I'm think that they're to that point in their tenure as a band to where they can go, yep, we're gonna go play these festivals, go get this money, and we're gonna have these dudes play these songs with us so we can sound better, and we're gonna do what the fuck we want to do and not have to really do what our record company wants us to do all the time. I think they have a lot of that. I think they have a lot more freedom than they used to, as far as like playing. And we may not get 6-week tours anymore, you know what I mean? I hope we do, because to this day I still tell people, they're like, oh, who you listen? What are you listening to? And I was like, Deftones. And they're like, who's that? And I'm like,
isn't that crazy?
The fact that you don't know makes me want to tell you about them even more. And I'll be like, and they're like, oh, do they sound like Limp Bizkit? And I go, shut your fucking mouth. Do they sound like Five Finger Death Punch? I go, I will punch you directly in your face if you say that one more time. I was like, they don't sound like anybody you've ever heard. You check them out. Your girl will like them because half of their songs are pure sex. I mean, you got to admit that. And he was like, oh, word. I've gotten so many people in my, friend group and people at work turned on to them. I mean, and that's what I love doing. I just go listen to these 4 or 5 songs and tell me what you think. And they come back and they're like, oh, and I'm like, you're welcome. And they're like, and then I'm like, you like that? Try this. You'll like Palms. You like Crosses. You like Team Sleep. And, so many of my friends who know me personally, they're just like, how many shows have you been to now? And I'm just like, 71. And they're just like, do you have a goal? And I go, I do have a goal.
Do you have a goal?
I want to get to 100, dude. I really do. I don't know if I'm going to get 30 more shows, but I'm going to have to do some traveling logistics in order, like if they do, because I think they're probably going back in the studio to record some shit, or they're going to start writing some new shit, right?
That's the word.
Yeah, I'm hoping there's a Crosses tour. I'll ask Chino on the Crosses tour because I'm thinking that they kind of have to do that now. And man,
Crosses has to tour now, is what you say?
I think so, because it's got some traction behind it. It's got a buzz, but like, I'm hoping he does what he did with Palms and just comes to Texas for a week, and then I'll just take a week off work.
That's not cool. That's not cool.
No, man. Because hey, man, they can't tour Florida in a week. I mean, there's so many.
I agree. I don't see
places in Florida to play.
Yeah, I don't see like a 50-city U.S. tour. I don't see like a global tour with Crosses. It'll probably be West Coast,
I don't see
Texas,
them.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see them even going on a supporting tour, like supporting another band or something. But wasn't there a rumor going around that like Deftones might support Depeche Mode on their tour?
I had not
about that.
I didn't hear that. That would
somebody
be
was probably just talking shit, but I was like, how's that gonna work? I mean, I know because Chino loves them, but like, how's that gonna work?
I think if it was a stadium tour, I could see that being a thing.
Man, I don't know, man. I don't like them on stadium tours when other bands are the headliner.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just it's just weird to me because it's so big.
Stadium tours are kind of whack, just
it's just
but
too
does
big.
Provide the opportunity for two massive bands, or at least two massive bands, to play in the same place. And so for that reason, like I think like they wouldn't I don't think they would like just in their right minds be like, no, we don't want to tour with Depeche Mode. So I can see the validity or the realness in that rumor, but I don't know how real it is.
Because I remember when they did Summer Sanitarium with Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, Metallica, and then that other one they did where Korn was on there too. Or maybe they didn't do that one, maybe it was just Korn, but that 2003 tour, that was cool to see all those big bands live, but like their set was okay, but you could tell they didn't want to be up there. They didn't give a fuck. Like they went on at like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and it was Mudvayne, Deftones, Limp Bizkit, no, Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, then Metallica.
Okay.
You know, or maybe Linkin Park, then Metallica. I can't remember because Metallica played for 2.5 hours like they always do. Yeah. But you know, that tour was just kind of like, it wasn't that great. They opened with Minerva, and they played played their hits, and then there's like later they didn't talk to anybody in the crowd. They were just like,
they called in sick the Minneapolis show. They didn't play. I was
damn, for real.
I was but it was I had a great time. I mean, everybody was great. Metallica was kind of boring because they just stand there and they play songs, but Limp Bizkit I thought was outstanding. Linkin Park I thought was great. Even Mudvayne I thought was good that day. So I have fond memories of the show, except for but I think that was the time, and I've talked about this before on the pod, that I think Chino hurt his testicle. Like that was that time when he he got kicked in the nuts or something like that. So
probably. Yeah.
Because Hetfield was talking shit. He was like, sorry, Deftones couldn't make it or whatever. Like it was. He said some slick shit that day, and I was like, damn, he's really something happened. You know what I mean? Something went on. So.
Oh man.
I don't know what the case might have been.
I remember when Mudvayne came out, they all had on these Texas flag shirts, and they cut the sleeves off of them. Okay. And they were like, you know why we love playing Texas? Because you guys only got one fucking star, or I thought that was kind of cool. And then when Chino came out, he was like, he said one thing. He said like, hey, what's up? How's everybody doing? Blah, 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 blah. And everybody was like, yeah. And then he was like, you guys ready for Metallica? Like, he didn't say shit about Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park. He goes, you guys ready for Metallica? And he's like, yeah, me too. Cool. And he's like, yeah, me too. I don't give a shit. But it was cool to see them at that ACL Fest because Metallica opened up, or Metallica was right after them. Oh, so I was on the rail for Deftones. He came down, he gave me that shout out, and then they got their sound sorted out, and then I was right there front row for Metallica, and I stuck around for about an hour and a half, and then I was like, I got to walk a mile back to my car. Like I'm fucking gonna get started on that shit right now because I've seen them. They played Sandman. It is what it is. And by the time I got to my car, I saw all the fireworks going off and shit. And I was like, okay, cool. Now I can drive back home. So. But yeah, festivals big 3-day festivals like that, I don't really, it doesn't really appeal to me. Like if Deftones were to play Coachella or someplace like that, I don't know if I would.
So do you have a ticket to the Sick New World in Vegas?
I don't. And you know why? And here's my thing, and this may be me being whatever, but they're not headlining it. So you're going to cram 52 bands into one day. You're going to get a 45-minute set. You're going to you might get a new song by then, and that's crazy.
Maybe.
But the tickets to that are insane, but I don't know. I would rather if they had headlines, maybe. But I don't like a lot of those bands. Those were bands I grew up with. I liked them for what they were at the time, but I don't want to see Seven Dust. Yeah. I don't want to see Cold Chamber. They're all 50. You know what I mean? I grew up loving Cold Chamber, but you haven't played this gig in 10 years. No hard feelings or anything, but it looks to me and not saying Deftones are lumped into this because I know it's a record company who's promoting this, the promoter, but like to all those other bands, it looks like a huge money grab. That's all it is to me. I don't even know how much they're going to get paid, but like, I would love to go if I got a free ticket, but dude, I can't be spending money like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I would rather go to Deftones festival. You know what I mean? Like that's what I spend my money on. Like when it's their curated festival, when I get to see my homies and we get to like hang out at the beach and do all kinds of cool shit in San Diego. I love San Diego, but like I've never been to Vegas, and I'm just like, Vegas in May in a big dirt field. I don't know.
It's like Texas with gambling.
Yeah,
it's just hot. And there's, I don't know, more opportunities to gamble and see strippers, and I guess I hear what you're saying. It is sort of a nostalgia thing, and I think it is put on by Velvet Hammer. I think it's a Velvet Hammer, like,
oh, for sure.
So that's why they probably got roped into doing it, because it does seem very uncharacteristic of them to do anything nostalgia leaning. And that definitely is a nostalgia fest.
I mean, you don't want to get lumped into a new metal category, but what the hell is that show all about?
Well, but at the same time, like it has been 20 years since, and new metal is, I guess, sort of, it's seen more favorably. At least I think, I don't know, as opposed to, it's understood more maybe now than it was then, or maybe looked on more fondly. But I could see them not feeling like, okay, nobody's going to lump us into new metal. We've dropped 10 albums, you know what I mean? Since anybody said new metal was a thing. So
yeah, well, I'm sure they're going to get paid handsomely for it, and they'll put on a good set and everything. They
better not play a new song though. If they play a new song, I'm gonna be mad.
No, man. Like, do you have tickets for it or no?
Nah, I didn't get one.
Yeah.
I like.
You ain't got no radio connects, man.
I mean, if I did, then I would have to probably use them closer to the event, as opposed to start making those.
You never know, bro. Like I could end up there and just be like, oh shit, I'm here, but like I don't have any plans to be there as of right now.
Yeah,
because a girl is broke after San Diego, so gotta start saving up some more money, because when that Crosses tour hits, and if it goes the way I think it's gonna go, and they come to Texas for about 4 shows, I'm gonna go to all of those too. So
but you sound pretty confident about that. I like that. I like that confidence. You're gonna speak it into existence.
They could do all California shows, and then I may end up, if the money's right and I can figure it out, then I may just fly out there and go to that, because I don't think they want to come anywhere near like New York in February. Like, I don't think they're going to plan out a whole tour, but like that interview that they dropped a couple of days ago, Sean said, oh yeah, that's our manager back there. We're talking about logistics or whatever. So like, it's going to happen. I just don't know where.
I think you're right. And I think the when is a question too, because if Deftones are in fact going to go start recording again, that's another logistical thing.
Yeah.
It's very fun. It's exciting to be this deep into our fandom and still looking forward to what's next. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have to go like, all right, well, I wonder what's gonna happen. Like there were times, but now we're like, man, like let's talk about what could be next. You know what I mean? That's really dope.
You know how grateful we have to be, because they could have gone the System of a Down route and not done shit for 10 years and be like, oh, we're gonna go play a bunch of shows and play all of our hits and make a bunch of money, and we're not going to put out any new music. We're going to put out one single that was whack as fuck, in my opinion. But they could have done that, but they didn't. They constantly putting out new stuff. And I mean, they didn't have any idea the pandemic was going to happen. Nobody did, And I mean, there's so many bands that lost their fucking ass because they weren't able to make any money. Anyway, they make all their money on touring and merch. I mean, they don't make shit off of streaming. They don't make shit off of selling CDs. It's all merch. It's all shows. And I mean, now, like when you have all these Live Nation venues, how much of that does Live Nation get? Pretty much most of it, I would think, and I'm hoping that they're able to make amends to keep touring. You know what I mean? Because that shit is so expensive, bro. Like,
I think they must be since Dia is a Live Nation event, and because they continue to do the Live Nation tours, they must have at least somewhat of a good relationship. And I'm sure they probably, if Velvet Hammer made Live Nation a bunch of money on this Sick New World thing, I bet you they got a pretty decent little cut. They got a nice little standing. I bet they make something on streaming. Like they stream a
little bit, but not like you can't survive on that.
Not like album sales, but then again, they didn't ever. I mean, I'm sure they probably made more on album sales 20 years ago than they do now. But I bet they still make some bread on streaming. They have
a little bit.
Probably 4 million monthly listeners on Spotify, and that's one platform.
Yeah,
I bet they.
Yeah, I'm sure they make a little chunk of change. But I know
3 cents for every one of those streams.
Yeah,
that's a nice.
I know that I hear all the time. Bands are just like, well, we can't make any money unless we tour, and can't do anything unless we tour.
Sure. And now they're talking about how touring isn't even as lucrative as it once was because of, like you said, like venue needs a cut, venue needs a merch cut,
right?
Ticketing, venue, and everything else is all owned by Live Nation. They need all this or whatever.
And you got to have a good fan following to try to sell out every show on that tour. You got to have a banger that's playing on the radio or streaming to get people to come that don't know about you. But I think they'll be all right. I think that Sick New World, man, I just have a real bad feeling about that they're gonna have to make that a 2-day thing and then split it up or something, because it's sold out in 2 hours or something. Like the whole thing's sold out.
Yeah.
Even all those VIP, like there's friends of mine that did that shit on layaway or some shit plan, and I was like, man, that's crazy. I hope concerts don't eventually come to that, to where you gotta do a layaway plan like at Walmart. But there's a bunch of my friends who are going, like my buddy Angel Mastermind, he's going. And a bunch of my friends from Cali, because they'll just drive to LA or Las Vegas and go. But you never know, I could show up, dude. Sometimes I don't tell people where I'm going. I just show up and be like, what's up? I'm here. Don't know how I got here, but I'm here.
Obviously, it's great when your favorite band tours in your town, but what do you do when they don't? You travel to see them, of course. And believe me when I tell you, the Hair Restoration Institute of Minnesota is worth traveling for. Hey, it's Woody. I'm lucky. HRI is 5 minutes away from my house. But if you aren't in the Twin Cities, you are also in luck. With their Hair by Air program, HRI will reimburse your flight, get you to and from the airport for free, and they have complimentary on-site hotel accommodations. Yeah, that's right. There's a hotel attached to HRI. This is literally the best case scenario if you want thick flowing hair like a Viking or a rock star or a lion. Well, maybe that's too much. Check out the Hair by Air program at the Hair Restoration Institute of Minnesota at HRIMN.com. All right, now what are we going to do with this guy? We can't just leave him lying around. Right?
My homegirl Jenna, I'm gonna tell her story on her. She's diehard fan too. She's seen him on multiple continents. She's seen him in like Paris, France, Australia, places, and so has Gilbert. Wow. Gilbert's seen him on multiple continents too. Jenna got to see Chino in the volcano.
Oh, word, the volcano thing for real? About that?
Yeah, she was down in the volcano with him. I don't know how the hell she saw the show in Iceland, right? And then
I thought it was just like scientists who were in there. Like,
no, dude, it was like her and like 6 or 7 people.
Holy shit.
He got down, they rappelled them down in like a helicopter, I think. And like they had on spray lump gear or whatever you call it, like helmets, ropes, straps, all the things. And I was like, bitch, please tell me you got video of this. And she's like, you'll never know, Russ. She's so funny. I love her to death. But she's just like, I was fucking there. And I was like, I fucking knew you were going to be there, because she was in Iceland when they were doing that festival, that rock slide or rock festival or whatever.
Yeah.
And they had talked about Chino going to be one of the, they have a series of musicians that go down into this active volcano and shit. And like, there was a little bit of video that surfaced. I think someone shot on their phone of him playing. I think he played Change, and then he played like a Depeche Mode song. I don't know what all it was, but it was only like 3 or 4 songs, because she said the wind was so crazy down there that they like had to rescue them. Like Chino's wife was down there, and like a couple other people, and then like 4 or 5 groups of fans. There wasn't a lot of people down there, but like how crazy of an experience would that have been? Like that tops my Team Sleep story, but like I would love to have been in a freaking volcano. Like
I don't know, man.
Just like,
I don't know.
I'm gonna die, I might as well die in a volcano with my homie next to me singing my favorite songs. You know what I'm saying? Like, what a way to go. Holy shit.
I don't want to die. I would like to just I would just like to go to the show and come out.
I know, but like my goal is in the next year or so is to get overseas and see them do their thing over there.
Yeah.
Just
is there a city that you got in mind, like a place that you would love to see?
Man, I really just love to see them, in the UK, man, because those shows just look so intense, and I'd love to go see them play in Mexico too, because the Mexican fans, like when I've seen videos, like they didn't play that Knotfest Mexico, did they?
I'm not sure.
They play. I mean, because they jump up and down like
yeah. I've seen like some shit in like Brazil when they were like just jumping. I'm like, damn, dude, South America rides hard.
There's a video that I have saved on my YouTube that I gotta find, but it was during the Diamond Eyes tour, and I believe they're in either Spain or somewhere, and it's a pro shot. And dude, I mean, in between each song, they're like, ole, 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 like just singing, and like the whole crowd's just.
Want to feel that?
Like, I want to be there for that shit, because this tour was crazy, man. Because, bro, it's like nobody wanted to touch each other. Like it was the most.
Oh, you think so, brother?
Dude, in Houston, it was the most tame shit ever. And I'm like, why the fuck isn't nobody like bashing me in the head and trying to crowd surf? And like, I mean, I got pushed around a little bit, but I was just like, I didn't even really move that much, and I was on the rail with that kid and his mom or whatever. But like, that wasn't shit compared to like. Back in the Gore tour, they played in a parking lot in San Antonio at this old abandoned brewery, and this band called Cult Leader opened up for them. Holy shit, you gotta look them up, dude.
I'm familiar with Cult Leader, yeah.
Oh my god. That was one of the roughest shows I've ever been to, because everybody had been out there drinking all day.
Yeah.
And so by the time they let us in, I mean, it was a pop-up stage in a parking lot.
Thick.
A weak ass rail that like the security was like a dad and his 15-year-old son, and then like a 95-year-old dude that's walking around twiddling his whistle. And I'm like, this is security? Like, this is going to be who's going to grab this chick that when she comes flying over my head. I saw so many people, crowd surfers, fall on their necks, bro, and like on their backs, because the kid didn't know what to do.
Had no idea. Yeah.
It was so unorganized, but it was just. They played Doomed User, and they played Hearts and Wires. They opened with Hearts and Wires, like the intro, and then like Rocket Skates, whatever. I got to hear like Phantom Bride, and I mean, it was one of the roughest shows I've ever been to. Like I got bruised all over, because I mean I was just getting bashed into the rail. And the San Antonio fans, man, they don't play, bro. Like there's some diehard San Antonio fans. I mean, Dallas fans, it's different in every city. Like Houston, San Antonio, like South Texas, bro. Like those motherfuckers don't play. They are there all day. They're drinking. They're just like, we're getting fucked up. Los Deftones is tonight, and then they just fucking party, And it's cool because like I tell my friends from Cali, I'm like, hey man, you gotta come to a show in Texas, bro. And they're just like, oh yeah, they play better for us in California. I was like, I've been to California shows, and they are a unique experience, and it's right, I mean, because like it's like their homies and their families are there and stuff, and they play hard in Cali, but like, man, when they come to Texas, bro, like it's a different energy, man. It's a different level. I mean, because they're just so excited that like everybody else is excited.
Yeah.
Like when you watch that video I sent you of them playing in Austin, like Abe has this saying. He goes, there's two bands from Texas, ZZ Top and Deftones. And he's like, we're pretty much from Texas these days. And they're all, Chino's just sitting there kind of like, yep, that's what's up. Because Abe talks about how when they come to our town, we always remember that. We have a party, we have an experience. It's a night you'll never forget. And I mean, that's how it is for me. I may be hyping it up a lot, but like, that's how it is for me. Like, I remember that shit. Like I can't remember what I said to my mom 2 days ago, but I can remember 2006, them playing at something for Saturday Night Wrist when they were doing 2 show nights in cities on that tour too.
Oh, word.
Because I know they played Dallas 2 nights in a row at the House of Blues.
Oh, okay.
And then they played a lot of songs. There wasn't different sets like Metallica's going to do on this upcoming tour, but that would have been a cool thing to see, like different songs, no repeat songs, and like 2 nights in each city.
I really hope they steal this idea. Yeah, I've thought about that myself.
I've got tickets, man. Me and my buddy are going to the one in Dallas at Cowboys Stadium.
Oh, to the Metallica shows?
Right. Yeah, it's on a Friday, and then you go back on a Sunday. So one ticket is for 2 nights, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see. He's never seen Metallica, so I'm just like, bro, I don't care if I see Metallica, but like I'll go with you. You know, because I want to see Pantera. I mean, you know, it's not Pantera, but it's, you know, it's a tribute.
They're gonna play the Pantera songs, which is
dope.
Phil still sounds great. It's gonna be great.
But it'll be cool, you know. And I just want to see him geek out on Metallica because he's about 10 years younger than me. I work with this kid, and I was like, I'm gonna take you, bro. And I said, I'm gonna chill because like we're on the floor.
Oh,
like
wow.
They don't have it sectioned off either, so they're in the middle.
In the round,
it's not sectioned off. It's
the
not
50-yard
like
line.
It's not like GA1, GA2. It's all floor at a football stadium.
That's hard.
And then, you know, the layers and all that stuff. And Cowboy Stadium's huge. Cowboy Stadium can hold 80,000 in the seats. So, I mean, it's going to be fucking nuts.
And you're going to hear 50 different Metallica songs. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to hear 50 songs from like that's wild. That's
no repeat songs. And he was like, man, are we going to get a room and like go up there and all this? I was like, no, dude, I'm going home and having a Saturday and then going back Sunday night, you know? I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure they're going to do something on Saturday night, probably for like the Metallica Club fans or whatever.
Oh, they have a pop-up shop or something or whatever.
Yeah.
But
I'm just going to go for the show because it'll be
that would
cool,
be some ill shit for Deftones to do, though. I would love to see. Is there a Deftones song that you haven't heard live that would change your life, that would blow your mind?
You know what song I haven't heard that I really wanted to hear? I haven't heard Mona or, man. See, I've heard some of those Adrenaline deep cuts back in the day because they used to play like Fireall, like in the middle of the set. So I hear a lot of people like on the pod, they're like, I've never heard, you know, the deep cuts of Adrenaline around the fur. I've heard Damone, I've heard Teething, I've heard like they closed out something with Teething. Oh, and that show in Bend, Oregon, on the Gore tour, they closed out with Teething.
That's tight.
I'd like to hear like Can't Even Breathe. Maybe some of the stuff off B-sides. Like I've heard No Ordinary Love and there's some other songs. I'd like to hear Crenshaw too.
Yeah.
I haven't heard Crenshaw, man, and I'd really like to hear that. But like a lot of those other songs on that record, I don't really. It's like, you know, the one with Cypress Hill, I was kind of like, yeah, it is what it is. Let me see, because I knew you were going to ask me that, and I was like, damn it, I need to be prepared.
I didn't know I was going to ask you that. So that's good.
No, it's like
I was going to ask you what's like the rarest or the one that you were like maybe most surprised that you heard.
So hearing Smile at Dia, the first Dia. I think it was the first Dia. I got to go backstage like the first Dia and go up into VIP where friends and family were and stuff. Like Risa got me up there and got to see Chino and stuff, and he was really emotional when he introduced Smile. Like he was like, this is for my boy Chi, you know. And I mean, he was crying through that song, and I mean, you could really hear it in his voice and you could feel it, and that was a good one to hear. I'm trying to think,
cool.
Man.
That's really cool. I'm excited that I was there for the one that you, of all the 70s shows that you've been to, that you pick one that I was at that you were like, that was dope.
That was dope, hard. Yeah. But like, I would probably want to hear. I've heard The Chauffeur. I've heard To Having to Hold. Like they did that on Ozfest back in '99 when he was wearing that like samurai pajama set or whatever he was wearing. They opened with that, which was like crazy because like I was like, this isn't one of their songs. And then, you know, it obviously became a single, but like I know you like Pink Cell Phone, but I don't think we're ever gonna hear that live, dude. British People with Bad Teeth.
It would be
I don't think I've heard Xerxes.
Oh, word.
Yeah, no, I have. No, I heard it on the 06 tour. I think they played it.
Have you ever done an inventory, like made a spreadsheet? These are all the songs I've seen live. These are all the shows I've been to. Have you?
I'll have to go through. Yeah, I mean, I have an inventory of all the shows I've seen, like right here. But like, I'd have to go through on set list and just like go through. Like I remember, like I jotted down some notes for like in 03 when I saw him in on the Texas run. They played Battle Axe, and like I haven't heard Battle Axe since then.
Yeah,
Battle Axe, Death Blow, Good Morning Beautiful. I'm thinking I heard that on the 03 tour, but man, I'd be lying if I tell you I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they had that in the set list, but because I hear a lot of people saying, man, why don't they play more shit off self-titled? And I was like, man, they probably don't want to revisit that shit. They don't.
But wasn't it amazing that they did? Didn't that blow your mind though? Seeing like Bloody Kate come out, seeing Needles and Pins at Dia, like I was like, oh wow.
Dude, when his guitar tech brought out that bass, I was like, oh shit, we're about to get Needles. I was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, man, you motherfuckers just don't know, dude. I was like, when I see that little keyboard, I know Beware's coming, and when I see that big ass long bass that Steph's has, I'm like, oh, fucking hear Needles. Oh my god, it'll blow my mind. But like I like a lot of the stuff off Around the Fur too, but like I haven't seen. I'm trying to think, dude. I feel like I've seen. I don't want to say I've seen all the songs because I know I haven't, but like I've seen most of the shit off of Adrenaline. I'm looking through it right now, going, what are these songs called? I've seen everything off Diamond Eyes, but except for the like Ghost and Caress and all that stuff.
Right.
They did play at the Diamond Eyes soundcheck. I remember they played. I think it was Caress at soundcheck.
Cool.
They were just Chino wasn't singing, but Steph was just going to the real fast one that one at the end. I remember they played that, and then cool. I think they soundcheck with like Prince and then maybe Butcher, but yeah. I just listened to your last episode. I don't know who you were talking to. It might have been the one with Aaron where you played that scream he did at Butcher in Minneapolis or whatever.
Oh,
like right at the beginning.
Yeah, that was from the show in Milwaukee. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that like I was listening to that and I was like, dude, that's the longest scream I've ever heard him do. And I'm so thankful that like now when he plays Royal, he does the scream at the end of Royal.
Yeah, I know. I was so bummed that I didn't get to see Royal on this tour. When I saw that they were playing, I saw that they were playing that and Lovers, and I was just like, I
miss Lovers. I miss Lovers. I didn't get to see Lovers. I've seen Lovers live before. I can't remember when or what year. I think they played it at Dia the first year, didn't they? Or second year?
No.
Man.
Because I would have remembered that shit. Yeah.
I know I've heard it. But it might have been on this. Man, fuck, I don't know. I need to look my shit up.
You need to go to me.
Well, like it's gonna bug me now because I'm like, damn it, I know I've heard it, but did I hear it? But like the fact that like I have been waiting years because he hasn't done the last part of Royal since like the 2010-11, like screaming the last lyrics, you know?
Yeah.
And the man, when he did it on this tour, because he didn't have his guitar, that's another song we didn't get to see him with on the guitar. And I was like, oh, I mean, I got goosebumps, dude. I was like, oh, and I got some of that on my TikTok and like on the videos and shit. Yeah. So I was like, I've been waiting years to hear this shit. Oh my god!
Telling you, man.
Like, it's the little shit we geek out on, man. I'll tell you.
For sure. I was almost disappointed, or I was going into the last Dia like saying I'm gonna be disappointed if they don't do Royal or Lovers, but I was not disappointed.
Bro, we got Ceremony and I mean Error sounded great, dude. Like I know they had some sound issues at the first or like right there at the middle part, but like Error sounded great, and man, I really wanted to hear Spell, dude. I want to hear Spell so bad, dude. I love that fucking track, bro.
Yeah, I think that's one.
Genesis was weird, though. I don't know why they didn't. I don't know why they didn't open with Genesis because like that is such a build up,
right?
You know, with the intro of Pompeii and you know the just when it kicks in, I was like, damn. But
it was the weirdest set list ever,
dude. It was.
Like, be honest, it was straight.
I thought they were gonna open with Head Up, and I was like, because I heard all that on the guitar, and I was just like, damn, Head Up already? And then it was like, and I was like, oh shit, because that's what they used to do back in the day. They would open up with Summer, because I think he wants to get like the screaming shit out of the way first, so he can actually chill towards the end and sing. You know, I missed that we didn't get Knife Party. Knife Party is probably like one of my top 3 favorite songs is Knife Party, and
is it really?
Yeah, I love that. And I love Passenger just because of how sonically aesthetic it is for me, just because it just sounds like you're in space when you hear it.
Totally.
But Rosemary's still my jam, dude. It's got a lot of personal shit, you know, because I was going through a divorce when that album came out, you know, but like those lyrics and like what that song represents was kind of like the message I was trying to get out to my ex, you know, like or whatever. And I'm not gonna get all emotional, but like it was like I wanted her to stay with me and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, that song came out and it just like hit every emotion I was going through at the time, which a lot of their songs do. You know, they get you all in your feelings, and you're like, I remember this song back when that shit happened. It's good, but I mean, I just had so many good times, so many bad times. But dude, if I didn't have them, I wouldn't be here. I can tell you that with a straight face. I would have probably offed myself a long time ago if I didn't have their music. And a lot of people say that, oh, I wouldn't have made it if it wasn't for Limp Bizkit, or I wouldn't have, I don't know if people say that about Limp Bizkit, but
I'm just gonna say, my way or the highway. Oh, you need that shit in your life. I mean, I wouldn't have made it. Come on,
I wouldn't have made it if it wasn't for you, Justin Bieber. But I can just tell you that, like, I mean, we all go through shit, man, and everybody deals with shit in different ways. But like, that was my thing. Like, some people shoot a vein for it, or get wasted, or whatever, go rock climbing or something like that. But like, that has always been my thing, and it's like, that's what I'm going to spend my money on. That's where I'm going to go. That's how I've gotten my friends. I mean, I changed my whole wardrobe to try to emulate those guys, because I just thought they were so fucking cool and so West Coast, and just like, man, they just look like fucking G's every time they're in a photo shoot. They're just like, bro, I gotta get that jacket. Bro, Chino's got his hair spiked, or now he's combing it over. And I mean, you emulate your idols, and I mean, I'm not a musician or anything like that, but like, a lot of their stuff is influenced in my art. You know what I mean? Like, half of my paintings are named after their songs, and where I'll try to incorporate, just some elements of their music into my art. Every painting that I have, this is a cool little thing. Whatever I name it, or whatever I'm inspired by in a painting, I'll print out the Spotify code and I'll stick it on the back of one of my paintings. And so that whoever buys it, or whatever, I may write lyrics on the back of the painting, or like this may stick out to you, and like, I want you to see this as you're looking at the painting, but hey, go ahead and listen to this. Like, here's the Spotify code, like, boom, this is the song that the painting's about. Dude, I did a whole art show. I did a whole art show that was interactive here in Waco about a year ago, and people were walking around with their phones and scanning it. You know what I mean? That's just another way for me to introduce them to the Deftones atmosphere, or the palms, crosses, Team Sleep. I mean, I'm and then I wanted them to, like, I put out the code on the painting. I was like, save this and come back to it later, because they may not buy the painting that night, or they may buy a print or something like that. But like, I was like, come back to this later, because like, if it affects you like it affected me, if it changed your life, then that's what I can do. That's all I can do, is just like say, I'm going to put this out there. This is something magical to me. And it has been. I mean, it's, my entire adult life has been there's, soundtrack in my head constantly, So fuck yeah, I want to hear new music. Fuck yeah, I hope they go to the studio and like just keep putting out bangers, bro, because, I mean, like you said, you're not going to have this shit forever. You know what I mean? And this is our time. We devour the days and the hit. You know what I mean? Just saying. This is a lot of that shit. Like, Ohms is still a very positive record too, in my opinion.
Yeah.
With a lot of positive imagery and stuff like that, especially with the title track, because it's like coming out of the pandemic, and like, just like, holy shit, we kind of had to take a step back with life in general. Like, I mean, we got shut down you lost your job, things like that. People had to kind of take a step back and go, what's really important to me? What do I really value, and stuff like that. And I mean, we get these songs, and we get this little space of time that we get to experience this, and we're all in this together. And it's like, I wish I could have seen all you guys at Dia and just like hugged you guys, man. Because I mean, without even meeting you, dude, I already know, like, I could already tell, like, we were going to be cool. And because that's how everybody is at Dia, man. And I'm so glad that they finally like figured it out to like have their own shit. And like, it's all of my friends, I may not even know you. I may have never met you before, but if I say I'm Russ, 30 people are going to know, oh, you're Russ. Oh, you're the dude he talks about, or you're the guy who says, he's shouted out or whatever, and that's a good feeling to have, man. I mean, I'm not trying to toot my horn like I'm better than anybody else or whatever, it's just a different side of how I experience the band. There's a lot of people that just have only been to 10 shows, and they're just like, oh, I've been to 10 shows. And like, I'm like, well, I've been going since I was 17, and I just never stopped, because it's a drug for me, dude. Like, I have to have, that 2 years off was tough.
Yeah.
Just because not being able to go to shows or comedy shows or any of the shit I like to do, it was tough. So, I mean, I was so glad that they decided, yeah, we're going to tour on this record, because they could have not. They could have just said, oh, we're going to shelve this one. We're not going to promote it. We're not going to tour on it. Here it is, whatever. It's on Spotify,
Especially given the, Sergio's departure. I mean, that alone could have just been reason enough for them to go like, all right, we're just gonna be a band that records and doesn't tour. But like you said, I think the financials of it don't necessarily permit that. Like you got to tour. I think even Deftones have to do a little bit of touring to keep that money moving. You know what I mean? And that's not a slight on them or anything. If anything, that's thank goodness they got to.
No, and I mean,
keep going.
You know, if Sergio bounced, somebody else might have bounced. You know what I mean? They could have said, "Oh, the pandemic fucked me up. I don't want to do it anymore." Right. You know, I mean, I was really worried when that happened, and then when I heard about Steph not going to Europe, I was like, "Oh shit, is he gonna?" Because I mean, you know, I don't know Steph personally, and you know, and a lot of us don't, but like, you know, I don't know if he's healthy or if there really was a problem. Juan didn't really, you know, divulge any of his information. He had told us in Houston about a month before Steph made that video. He said, "Hey, if this were to happen, what would you guys being hardcore fans like me, my friend Jenna, who was in the Volcano, and then Andy, I know you met Andy. We were all there in Houston. And we were like, he's like, would y'all come to a show and like fly overseas if Steph wasn't there?" And we were all like, nah, probably not. You know, but we said it at the time, but like, you know, this may be the formula, you know, when they go overseas, it may be Lance and Fred, you know, I mean, they still killed it. They still crushed it on all the videos I've seen. So, I mean, you know, I can't say that I wouldn't, you know, because of Steph, but I mean, it's like if Chino wasn't there, I mean, of course you're not going to go, you know, how are you going to get somebody to fill in for him?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
I think that's pretty much true of just about any band. Is you change the singer, you change, it's a different band. But if you change the guitar player, even if the guitar player is the band, that's why I think, you know, him being there at home and continuing to record, and God knows he's done a playthrough of almost every song, so you know he's thirsty to play and to be
right.
To give Deftones fans and guitar players especially something from him. I think that there's like that desire still there. So I feel like we're still okay. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then again, if I lived in London and I couldn't see Steph and I play guitar and I love guitar, like
that's what I got to think about too. Like I got to think about those fans and like the diehards that have been wanting to see him for 2 years. And they're kind of at a disadvantage too, man, because they get a festival show. They get a one-off club show. Like they played that one-off club show, and was it Paris maybe or somewhere before they played the festival? Or that was in Australia. They played that one.
Yeah, they did. I think a couple of club shows in London, couple in Australia. Yeah. But yeah, it's not much for the most part. It's that 40, like you said, 45. They don't
hardly get a full tour, man. They don't get a, you know, we can go see them 10 nights in a row kind of situation, because they don't tour like that over there anymore.
Right.
Especially with like everything going on over there, as far as, you know, like whatever countries are battling against each other or whatever, but like, and it's mostly festivals, and, you know, festivals are festivals. You're going to get the top
festival
tracks.
Set. You're going to get
45 minutes, and they're going to say deuces and see you later. And, you know, so
that is,
but I'd like to go see a show just in another country. Like, even if it's Canada, like I may only be able to make a Canada show or something, but like, I want to come up to Minneapolis. Not in the wintertime, but I would love to come, you know, when they play a show over there. I got a homegirl that lives in Minneapolis that was at the show, and she's a diehard fan. She's got Chino's tattoo on her fucking thigh, dude. She's got his like big ass Chino tattoo.
Really? That's sick.
Shout out Maria if you're listening to this. But she's diehard too, and she's like, you gotta come up and fucking rage with me and all this shit. And I was like, I don't rage too much anymore, but I'll come, you know, I'll come hang out. I gotta keep my rage to a minimum, you know, unless someone starts fucking with me. So, but yeah, dude, I want to come. I do want to come. I haven't seen a Deftones show in like New York. I'd like to come see a show there.
Yeah,
don't really care to see him in Florida, because I just can't stand that state anyway. But like, you know, I do want to branch out a little bit, you know, just go see him in different places, you know.
Totally, yeah.
East Coast dates, see how they do it over there. So
yeah, that pier or whatever they played at in New York looked cool as hell. That would be super dope. And I would imagine they got to hit pretty much the same spots over and over again. So catching something like that,
man, you know, it's crazy.
Unique venues.
They've played the same venues here a bunch of times, but then like that brewery show I was telling you about, that was just in a damn parking lot.
Yeah, that's the shit you gotta go to. That's the shit you don't miss.
This is 2016. This is a multi-platinum band, and they're just at the edge of town. there's a field that we parked in that was one way in, one way out. There's all these fences with barbed wire around it. This old ass crusty haunted brewery behind us, and then there's the stage. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, you know,
I wonder
like,
what was the
really
magic
happening?
word that got them to be like, yeah, we'll play in a parking lot. Was it brewery? What was the magic word? You know what I'm saying? It was brand. It was how many zeros before the decimal?
I think that the other kind of outsidey, not amphitheater, but there's another venue in San Antonio called Sunken Gardens. And it's just a concrete amphitheater and a stage that looks like something out of Macbeth or something, you know. And they've played there before. They played there in like 2001 and I think again in 2006. But I was like, why didn't they play there? Like they could have just like they've sold that thing out every time they play there. And I mean, it's huge. It's a huge half bowl. You know, I think it's probably 5,000 capacity you could get there, and plus a huge floor, huge just concrete floor. They got food trucks and all that shit around there. But then like there was nothing at this place. There was a merch stand. And I got a really cool. Have you seen any of the Texas exclusive merch?
I saw it for the last tour. Yeah.
Yeah. So like they had a Texas hoodie on that 2016 tour that was just the Texas shit state, and then it said Deftones 2016. And like, you know, I geek out on shit like that because like they don't really do that for a lot of other states. You know what I mean? They don't say SoCal Tour 2016. On this last tour, it was the Goon Squad shirt that says Goon Squad Texas chapter. I was wearing that at Dia, but I had on a jacket because it was cold. I had on my Palms hoodie, and someone was like, "Oh shit, Palms!" And I was just like, "Yeah, what's up, Rare?" Broke my damn zipper on that bitch too, and I was pissed. So
that hurts. Yeah, that hurts.
But it's all good. But what did you think of the festival? I mean, you said you got passed out kind of early, or you said you were faded pretty early, or did you get to enjoy it?
I mean, I just started. Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was enjoying it. I was enjoying it early and often, and probably a little too much. But yeah, no, I was just. I had a great time because it is such a like you said, it's a space where it's like you really do feel like you're family with everybody, even if it's a face that you never seen before. You like that it's like everybody's there to see Deftones, and it's just there's something about that's it's not like a Knot Fest. I've been to Knot Fests. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not like other festivals. It
doesn't feel like a festival. It doesn't feel like we're in the middle of a field and it's all fucking day long. It feels like this is a community of people that all like the same thing.
It feels like a block party more so.
Right, like a block. And dude, the Petco Park is a perfect place for that. And I love that they've had, like I've been telling like, hey, you need to come have it in Texas, you know, and all this stuff. But I was like, man, we don't have a place like that's that cool, that's right in the city center that you can just walk into. And I mean, you're already in this environment of like all this love and, you know, music and the fact that they change it up and it's not all metal bands or it's not all rock bands or whatever. And I mean, they've got, you know, electronic music and, you know, Freddie Gibbs. I saw Freddie Gibbs, man, that dude, I hadn't ever heard of him. I mean, I haven't ever heard him before, but I heard of him.
Sure.
And I walked over there and I was like, oh shit. And I caught like most of his set. I saw Steph over there bobbing his head, but I didn't, there was already people talking to him, but I didn't go over there. I was just like, he probably didn't want to talk to me anyway. I was going to go there and say what's up, but he was like looking down and doing something. He was just like, I could tell he was enjoying the music and didn't want to be fucked with. So I was like, man, I'm going to respect his face and all that shit.
Totally.
You know, but yeah, it was good seeing a lot of people there, and I was there with all my friends, and I mean, we were just, man, we were having the best time. It's always a magical experience too, and I hope they keep doing it. You know what I mean? Because I love San Diego in itself. You know, I mean, there was so much shit that we did before that. I went like kayaking in the ocean, like crazy.
I saw your
shit,
pictures, dude. Yeah, you were like in a cave and shit. I was like,
dude, God. We were in La Jolla and we went kayaking, and they take you like way out and you come back into this cave and there's like these big ass sea lions like just barking at you and shit, and they're huge, bro. I mean, there's the size of freaking Volvos, you know what I'm saying? Like they're massive.
Way, for real?
Oh, dude, wow. They're massive. Well, there's a bunch of little ones too, but like the big ones, the big old mama bears or whatever, I mean, they're just like sunbathing. There's like, you know, but I mean, there was probably sharks swimming under me. Like the minute I got in, they push you out over the waves. And it was just like, I got hit right with a wave and the water's like 60 degrees. And I was like, I was making noises I had never heard come out of my body before, dude. I was such a bitch, bro. I was like, I can't breathe.
It's cold. It's cold.
I was like, I can't breathe. And the little punk ass tour kid, he was just like, you all right, bro? And I'm just like, yeah, brah, I'm cool. Hang on, Bodie. I'll be there in a minute. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, I wasn't even dressed right. I didn't have, like, I had on shoes and socks that were completely drenched, you know, and I finally got out there, and then I was like, fuck, now I got to paddle. And I'm not the most fit person ever.
No, that shit
like,
is exercise.
I was like, this is fucking bullshit. And I was like, oh, it's so pretty. Yeah, fuck this. But no, I mean, it was a cool experience. Would I do it again? Probably not. But it was a cool experience.
You could say you did it at least. You could say you did.
Yeah, it was.
But that's, like you said, that's something about San Diego that is, it's all a part of what makes that experience so special. Not just what's going on within it, because it is like a family reunion, like a block party. But then it's all the peripheral stuff that San Diego offers.
And we didn't even stay in downtown. Like, our Airbnb was out by this. It's called Ocean Beach. It's the area out there, but we stayed right by a dog beach. And literally walk out of our Airbnb, walk 2 blocks, and you're on the beach.
I mean, how cool is that?
Pier. I mean,
can't pass that up. That shit's so hard.
Amazing, just amazing. You know, and that's what I like going for. I like having experiences like that. And I didn't hardly buy anything. I bought some merch. That merch line at the show was whack, dude.
Oh, and that merch line was super whack.
Dude, I didn't get any of the hoodies or whatever, and I was gonna get a hoodie, and then I was just like, man, that's just gonna be on the website in like 2 days. And it was, and because I know, and there wasn't anything exclusive there they didn't put on the website like 3 days later. So I was like, I'm good.
Although, wait, did they put the hats on the website?
The Goon Squad hats?
No, at the
no, they didn't. No, those like little little like.
Them shits are my prized possessions, bro. Them shits are so hard. There's the green corduroy and a black corduroy with like the old Raiders script on it.
Yeah.
I waited in line, but so they had 2 giant ass lines, right? And then the third line was like, there was like nobody in the line, and it was like nobody noticed it or whatever. And so we were like, oh well, shit, we're just gonna slide up on this third line. So we got in there, got our merch. I mean, I spent hundreds of dollars. I'm ashamed of how much I spent on merch, but the shit was super easy. And then my wife, we were like, she's like looking at her shirt. She's like, I think I should have got a size small. I was like, or size larger. I was like, all right, let's go back and get it. They were like, oh no, you can't get in this line. Whoa! So apparently we broke the rules. No. So they really fucked up. But the real downfall of that was because my wife's fine, whatever. Her shit fits. Yeah. The real downfall is the homies that was with it, Andy and Miguel, turned around and then they met Steph while we were over there fucking with the wrong merch line. They fucking met Steph. They just ran.
What was Steph doing over there? He was in the bathroom.
I think he was probably going to check out whatever band was playing at that time. It was.
Oh right.
It is what it is, but. That shit was, you were right, though. That merch line. See, I've got an idea for the merch line. They got digital tickets. You don't have a hard ticket. So you got a digital ticket. When you scan your barcode, right, you get entry, you gain entry, then you should be able to then shop on your phone. Right. Let me shop on my phone. I'll buy my shit. You know how much is back there. You know what the inventory is. Let me know when it's ready to pick up and text me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't make me go stand in line and go miss Audrey Nuna or whoever else. You know what I mean? Like, fix the merch thing, Live Nation.
Like, where's my bag at? And there's me. Boom. There's all my shit. Thanks.
Right. That's all it should be. It should be so easy.
You know how many people missed out on seeing? You know, I mean, I'm sure you did. If you were in line for an hour, I was in line for about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, because I don't remember when I went over there, and I got the long sleeve black shirt with the logo on it, and then I got the t-shirt with the concert thing on the back with all the names on the back, and
the bright orange. That shit looks so
hard. And then I got the pin set. Yeah. And I got what the hell? I got that koozie, and then I think that's all I got.
Yeah.
There you go. Cheers, man. Cool. I ended up giving that koozie to my brother, but I wanted to get the Yeti. Were they giving away? Yeah, they were giving away a Yeti with a knife on it, because this is my Converge one.
Yes, I know which one you're talking about.
But they were giving away a Yeti that had the knife on it. But my friend Preston and Amanda, they had VIP. I didn't get VIP, and they got 2 packages, and they ended up giving me their shit, one of their shit, because my homie Preston. Mommy Preston was like, man, we don't need this poster and all this shit, and so I got it. I got the poster and I got the little laminate thing.
That's tight.
Because he knows I collect all that shit, so he was like, all right, yeah, I got you.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, man, it was a good experience. I think it's gonna be I think it's going to be different each time, but I look forward to it every year. Like I might as well book my flight for next year too, because they're going to have it next year. They're going to keep having it until they just don't want to do it anymore. I think, because they sold this one out in like
a day,
2 hours, 2 or 3
hours.
Like
no time. Yeah, it was. Who'd have thought? I mean, obviously, I think Turnstile being as hot as they are right now certainly helps.
Dude, they killed it too. They killed it.
They were great.
They sounded really good. I was walking around during there. I think that was when I was in merch. Was right when they came on. I remember hearing, "Oh, it's a holiday," and I was like, "Oh shit, that's Turnstile." And then I got back to my spot. I want to get up front, man. I want to be up front with my homies, but it's just like you kind of missed out on the whole festival, but I like being able to hang in the back with my homies and just talk shit or just hang out and just have a good time. And dude, I mean, when they were playing Be Quiet and Drive, we jumped jumping up and down, you know what I mean? When our songs like coming on, we're like, oh shit, like when we'd hear a deep cut, and we'd just be like,
and you heard a lot of them that night, you know what I'm saying?
Man, did we not? I was surprised. I was actually surprised that like that they went that route, but I'm thankful that they did, you know what I mean? Like
it's awesome. Cool to hear you say that, having seen them as many times as you have, because you, as much as anybody, know how rare that is and how unique that set was.
Well, when you were asking me earlier what songs haven't I heard, I hadn't heard Goon Squad.
Word.
And like when they debuted that, I was like, oh shit, okay.
You're like, check.
Which was it's still really special to me too, because I have a bunch of homies here in Waco that we started an art collective, a bunch of artists and creatives and stuff, and we're called Goon Squad. Because I was like, what are we gonna call this? I was like, let's just call it Goon Squad. And they go, is that a Deftones reference? And I go, it might be. Yep, sure is. So we put on like art shows and stuff like that here, and we play loud music and get food trucks, invite our friends, and just try to sell some art. But we got a homie that's a graphic designer, and he designs our posters and stuff, and they look like band posters, like come out tonight, 7:00, see such and such and such and such, all these artists, and so
that's hard.
But it was cool that I got that Goon Squad Texas chapter, because it's like, this could be the band, but it could be the art thing. It's all good. It's like they kind of knew I needed a shirt, so sweet. So
that's how they go. They're always looking out. Always looking out.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
So we have talked for about 2.5 hours now.
Damn, really?
Flies by when you talk about Deftones, man. It really does.
No, man.
So in an effort to start winding up here, gotcha. I would like to ask for some recommendations. And of course, this is based on something that Chino said on a pod once, that he only tweets out links to songs that he likes, because he thinks that's the coolest shit that he could share on social media is music. So in that spirit, put me on to some shit. It doesn't have to be music. It could be art. It could be anything in the world that you think people should check out.
Okay. I told you about that band that opened up for them, that Cult Leader band. I want people to check them out. Cult Leader is very brutal. They're from Utah or Salt Lake City. They're very, very good. Check them out. There's a band that Chino mentioned on a podcast a long time ago, like 2010 maybe.
Wow.
It's a German doom jazz band called Boharen under Club of Gore.
They're a German. Say it again. They're a German.
It's a German doom jazz band. So it's like, it's really creepy. It's not, like
that sounds like
jazz.
Some shit Chino probably likes. It's some German doom jazz.
I'll send you a link, and you can listen to this whole. It's all instrumental. So it's like, I mean, they're all.
Tell me the name of them again. What are they called?
It's Boharen, Bohren, and then it's the and symbol. And it's Der, Der, Club of Gore.
Bohren der Club of Gore.
Something like that.
That was my poor attempt at German.
But they're on Spotify, dude. They've got like 7 or 8 records, and wow. He said he got turned on to them one time. He was at somewhere in a restaurant, and they were playing it in the like jazz lounge area or something. But he said he listens to it when he cooks and like when he just zens out and everything. And dude, I've been turned on to them for years, because like I cook and I listen to them, or like if it's raining outside and I don't want to watch dumb shit on TV, I'm just like, man, I'm gonna just chill out and listen to the rain and have this in the background, and it's great in headphones and everything else. But I mean, it's like haunted ass creepy like horror music. It's real slow and then like crazy low saxophone and shit like that. I mean, you'll probably dig it, man. I mean, it's I turn people onto it because I love it. I've been getting into another band that I heard on the Diamond Eyes tour. Either they had it playing during like their pre-show right before they came on. It was a band called O, or it was a producer called O. So it's spelled like little O, big O, little O, and then two big O's. So he's a producer, and it's electronic-y stuff or whatever, but they had a song called Hearts. And either they played it right when they walked off stage and it was just the music playing while everybody was leaving the venue, or it was what was playing right before they came on. Because they play their music like Prince and shit like that while they're backstage getting ready.
Yeah.
Either before or after that. But I've gotten really into them. And then he's since branched into another type of group called Holy Other.
Okay.
And it's electronic. It's not like Skrillex or something like that. It's not dubstep or trap or anything like that. It's just I don't know what the hell they call it. It's not like Excision or EDM or whatever, but it's just really cool, chill beats, and it's very Team Sleepy type stuff. But it's called Holy Other.
I'm definitely with that.
Yeah, and then I guess I could give a shout out to my homie Trevor, man, that makes these hats.
Yeah.
So like I can't wear snapbacks because I got a big ass head, but he makes snapbacks. He makes snapback hats for big-headed melon dudes like me, and it's called
What size hat you wear, dog? What size hat you wear?
9. Like, no joke. A fitted hat, I wear an 8 or 8.5.
Wow.
Like in a new era hat.
For real. I'm a 7 and 5/8. I'm a big domed individual. So respect.
I
to
can't
you. Hats off to you.
No, well, yeah, like the Goon Squad hat. Bro. I can't wear this motherfucker. I just got it. I can't wear it.
You got it. You can't even put it on.
I just got it because it was on the tour, but I can't wear that bitch because look how far it is on the thing, and it's tight as fuck.
It's all the way to the end.
But like my homie makes these, and check him out on Instagram. It's called Mammoth Headwear, but like he's got all different colors and stuff. But like it's for, it's so your Brad's not on the last little thing.
Yeah. Because I hate that because you do look like you got a big ass head when you're. I've been there. You're like, oh shit. Well, yeah, or like narrow hats, dad hats don't really do.
Yeah, I mean they're just as much as the other snapbacks, but like you said at the show, like you got that script hat or whatever. Yeah, I couldn't buy those because I knew full well I couldn't wear it.
Yeah,
because I'm not gonna wear it on the last Brad and like cinch it down like I'm not gonna do that shit.
That shit is the worst.
Like yeah, this cat, he's in Denver, I think, or Colorado somewhere, and I've got like 7 or 8 of his hats, man.
Mammoth hats, that's tight.
Mammoth Headwear, man.
I'm
good
with
shit,
that,
man. I like what he does. He got like camos. He's got like trucker hats and snapbacks and all kinds of stuff. But it's a cool little logo. It kind of looks like it'd be a Mastodon hat or something.
It does, yeah. That's sick.
It's kind of cool. I like black hats. I just like blacked out hats. So
I'm with that.
I don't get crazy. I don't wear like more orange hats or nothing like that. So, but yeah,
that's tight.
Yeah, that's some recommendations, and just I don't know, just tell people to be kind to each other and appreciate the now, dude. Like appreciate what they're putting out, and appreciate, if you ever go to a show and just talk to people and just have a good time and have an experience and not try to get it all on your phone. Like I say that, but I've got a bunch of videos, but there's a lot of times where I just put my phone down because I want to see it. I want to take something for me. You know what I mean? Because I've got so many pictures of that fool and so many. I think I've got like 13 videos on my YouTube of him screaming the last part of Shove It, Yeah. And I make my phone shake and shit like that, so it looks kind of cool, or whatever. But I mean, I don't need to have all that. So, but it's just an experience, man. And they've taken me for a long ride. And I mean, I wouldn't have met half of the cool ass people in my life and had the support network I've had without this band. I wouldn't have the swagger or whatever, if you want to call it, the I don't know what it is, mojo. The confidence, because like I was a real quiet kid, man, growing up, and like they kind of gave me an identity, man, and I mean I'm forever grateful. And I see those dudes who like wrestling a lot, they're like, it's not fake to me, it's real sport, but I feel that way about this band. Like I get that they are obsessed with something, or anybody who's obsessed with anything or has like that thing in their life, like I get it. Sometimes it's a hobby for people, but for me, it's life, dude. It's like, and if they ever break up or have a falling out, I'm going to be devastated, bro. But like, I still have all of this.
Yeah.
I have the music. I have the experience that I've had with them. I have the good times that I've had in my life personally and bad times, but like that music's never gonna die, bro. I have that for forever. You know what I mean? And I'm so grateful that I found a thing that wasn't drugs, alcohol, or, you know, getting arrested or doing dumb shit or crime. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so glad that I had this.
Russ Tone. Thanks, Russ. Deftones fans are the best, and you are among the best of the best, my friend. Dia 4, we're lit. All right? Make sure you check Russ's art, by the way. Look for Russ Tone Art on social media. And if you're on social media and you want to talk about Deftones, holler at me. I'm at Woodbra on Instagram and Twitter. We're coming up on the end of season 4 here. I've got another great conversation with a huge Deftones fan to share with you. A couple of musicians who I've had some extremely special conversations with. And maybe one more legend in the game to finish the season. I hope you're having as much fun as I am. My name is Woody. Thank you for listening to Deftones, and thank you for listening to Change in the House of Pods.